From Harry Hurley Way in the world's playground to the broadcast pioneers of Philadelphia Hall of Fame, you're about to find out why Harry Hurley has been named to the Talkers Magazine list of the 100 most important talk show hosts in the nation. Live from the studios of Town Square Media in Northfield, it's Hurley in the Morning on WPG Talk Radio 95.5 and the WPG Talk Radio app.
Thank you. Welcome. It's 6 minutes past the hour. Harry Hurley, not in the studios of WPG Talk Radio 95.5, but on the road at 500 Shore Road in Linwood, the scene of the Linwood Country Club, the scene of the 17th annual Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open. And ladies and gentlemen, the God above has shined on us again, because literally for the entire time that we are here today, and it is a good part of the day from now through about 3 o'clock, 3:30, maybe even a little bit later than that, but that should close out lunch and all the awards. We have a 0 to 1% chance of rain. In other words, it's not going to rain. And we'll talk about that because Jim Fraser, former owner, and his great family, the Fraser family, golf legends, owners of the Atlantic City Country Club for many, many years, owners of the Mays Landing Golf and Country Club, which is the home course where this event started 17 years ago, literally in the beautiful dining room, sitting down with Jim and Doug Fraser, our whole team of multiple members of the New Jersey General Assembly. We probably had a committee that day of about maybe 15 or more people, and everything from picking what time of the day, what time of the year, what day of the week, all of it. Ed Klein gets the collar for the start time because he said, Harry, you're Hurley in the morning. It's got to be you got a morning crowd. You got to have it in the morning. Everybody agreed. So then we knew that it would be in the morning. And we haven't looked back ever since. It's been great with the help of incredible benefactors, a generous community. The Hurley in the Morning charity has raised, as of today, more than $1.5 million. We have written more than $1 million worth of grants to hundreds of charities throughout the state. Most of the money stays right here in the area. We'll call it maybe the metro market, 3 counties, Atlantic, Cape May, Cumberland counties. But we go beyond as well. We go where the need is. Things like St. Jude Children's Hospital, Broadcasters Foundation of America, many, multiple hospitals. You know, we do what we can. I want to thank our Town Square Media president, Michael Rubel, for clearing the opportunity to do this. Of course, Chris Coleman, whose his help and everything that Chris does is incalculable. Chris Coleman is the program director for Town Square Media's WPG Talk Radio 95.5. Joe Kelly, our content director. Josh Hennig, our executive producer, and the entire team at Town Square Media South Jersey, giving us the opportunity, basically, with a few minutes at the top of the hour, to give you a little news update, a little weather update, things like that. We are going gavel to gavel all morning here at the Linwood Country Club. Jim Fraser will be with us for the full hour. That is a 17-year tradition. Jim has never missed. We always do the 6 o'clock hour together, and as far as I'm concerned, as long as Jim will do it, it's always going to be that way. Jeff Bonneke, who is the director of golf operations and a PGA golf professional, he will join us at 7. Jack Chittarelli will join us at 7:30. Mark Giantonio, the president and the chief executive officer of Resorts Casino Hotel in Atlantic City, will join us at 8 o'clock. And then we'll have just a cavalcade of dignitaries and golfers that are going to be here. To give you just a quick lowdown, then we'll bring Jim into the broadcast. We have 124 golfers, something that Jim and I decided a long time ago. It is true, we could litter the 18 holes of the Linwood Country Club with 144 players, but then, of course, pace of play and all that, I think, would make it not as enjoyable. So Jim and I decided from the very inception of this event that we would raise as much money as we can. And we have foursomes who have paid that said, Harry, we won't play, keep the entire contribution, whole sponsors and things like that. so that we can put out on the course 31 foursomes. That's 124 players, a first and second assignment at each of the par fours and par fives, and only one foursome at all of the par threes, which there are 5 here at the Linwood Country Club, and it really does make a big difference. So, Jim, I made that mistake before I met you when I did the first golf tournament in the history of the casino industry, which was the Golden Nugget Golf Tournament.
Right.
And because I said, all right, well, there's 18 holes, we can put this many, it's 144, and you pay for that.
Right. Well, good morning, Harry. Thank you. You said 17 straight years. I will say that a couple of those years it was a little more difficult getting here, but now I only sleep till about 5 o'clock, so it's a lot easier. Well, yeah, nothing aggravates golfers more than slow play.
Just waiting to take every shot.
Waiting. So we worked that out. It moves along really well, and we'll talk more about that, I'm sure, as we go along.
Without a doubt. So, Jim, you as somebody that golf runs through your veins like blood runs through ours, I can't say this enough. I know it sounds like a broken record, but I'm in utter disbelief that we've been able to come 17 straight years and it never rained. And last year was, for me, the kicker, because we had to move our event from Friday to Thursday.
Right.
It's just the nature of the business. We couldn't stay here and do it on Friday, so we would have had to leave. And we didn't want to leave, and they didn't want us to leave. And we're very grateful to the Doherty family and the entire team here, Jeff and Chelsea and everybody, Madeline, everybody, a.k.a. Maddie. So last year, for the first time, we moved from Friday to Thursday. Thursday is glorious. You were here. Perfect weather, whisper of wind, low 80s at the max, teed off at room temperature, absolute perfection. The next day, Friday, which would have been us for 16 straight years, was end of days, typhoon, wind, rain, thunder, lightning. It was a washout. It would have been impossible to have the event. How does that even happen? So we've moved it even, and we're being blessed with the weather.
You know, Harry, I like the numbers in the golf world, and there's in our area there's 220 days you can count on, give or take a few days, 220 days of golf in South Jersey, generally speaking. The odds at 17 years straight that you wouldn't have a rain out or some terrible wind is astronomical. I can't do the odds. I'm not that good, but it's amazing. It's been beautiful just about every single solitary year that we've had it.
Now, you did tell me, and even one year we had a storm system split right before it arrived to the country club, and we didn't have rain.
Right.
But everyone else did. So it really becomes absolutely crazy to even process and try to explain. You told me a long time ago that most events don't make it to 17 years. They run their course and they start and they have an expiration date, and we'll experience that at some point too. It hasn't happened yet, but out of 17 years, I think you told me your guesstimate would be there should have been at least 5 horrific rainouts.
Probably something like that. And to your other point, yes, golf tournaments, charity golf tournaments do usually have a lifespan. Someone passes on and their family wants to celebrate them, or someone is head of a charity and wants to do a golf tournament. And it usually, I would say, averages about 10, 12 straight a year. Then the committee changes and people aren't as enthused. But the way you do it, which is about 98.9%, yourself and Margie, I don't see it ending until you decide no more. I mean,
and here's my barometer on that. As long as the players want to play, I want to do this. Well, they keep coming back. Well, that's the magic.
Well, I think the magic also is that you give to so many different charities. And what I love about this event is you give to charities. You make some large donations, of course, but you make some smaller donations. When I say small, 1,500, 2,000, to charities and groups that really get no money from anybody.
And for them, that's huge. That's a huge amount of money.
It's huge, and it really makes a big difference. And that's why I think people want to play in the event. They understand that.
This, to me, is obligatory, so I don't feel that it's just repetitive that we talk about this. I think it's important that once a year we bring this up. I'm not a golfer, as you know, but yet this incredible, they call it a game, some people, with the skill set, it's a sport to me. It's not a game, but they say the game of golf. This has worked out beautiful as a fundraising opportunity. It brings people together. It gives you the opportunity to raise the money that you need in order to be able to write the grants. And it's beautiful. You know, they have this term in life called symbiotic, and that, to me, I don't like that term because that's like a fish tank with algae eaters and fish. So I like the collegiality, the partnership of it all. Golf and the ability to be charitable, to raise money for important not-for-profits works beautifully together. It
really does. And of course, not just here. I mean, there's no other sport that can raise the kind of money that golf can raise. Just to look at the PGA Tour, millions and millions and millions of dollars goes to charity, and all the way down to all the different events. It's just a great way to raise money. I like tennis. I'm not a tennis player, but they can't raise any money in tennis tournaments. Think of any other sport. Golf is by far and away the best way to raise money to get people together and raise a lot of money for the prospective charity.
We love it. Let me make mention to something that we're very proud of, and we just feel that it's necessary. When my friend Joe Pellegrino passed away, I immediately knew, let's make our annual closest to the pin competition the Joe Pellegrino Memorial Closest to the Pin competition in the Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open. It was just a natural. He had won it a couple of years ago. He played in almost every single one. He was doing cancer treatments. He beat cancer a couple of times, thought he was going to beat it this time. We had talked before he had passed. He was playing, and, you know, this is just hard to even believe all of this. Then we have a second friend we're going to mention in a moment. So immediately we just knew we were going to do that. Then, much to my absolute shock, and I still, as I was mentioning to Jim right before airtime, I still haven't processed that Frank Campo passed away. It wasn't supposed to happen. He went to the hospital. They told him, you know, you'll be home within 2 weeks. You'll be playing golf within 3 weeks. And he was gone within 2 weeks. Gone. So, no question about it, we have named our longest drive competition the Frank Campo Memorial Longest Drive Competition. It will be the 9th hole here at the Linwood Country Club, a $250 cash prize. So that is going to be something we're always going to honor. And we're going to welcome Ken Williams a little later this morning. We have a foursome. We're going to have a Frank Campo Memorial foursome that will involve the players who played every week together. You know how this is, Jim.
Sure.
You did the same and do the same. There's people you play with regularly, and the Ken Williams foursome is the Frank Campo Memorial foursome, and on purpose, they haven't played since Frank passed away, and this will be the first time they have played.
That's really nice. Frank had a tremendous impact on so many young people in this area. It was just
countless. Just
a great guy, and it's really sad.
Totally shocking. 77 years young. Just we got cheated. He got cheated.
That is young.
Oh, you're darn right it is. I turned 64 yesterday. 77 is very young. Hole-in-one opportunity on the 6th hole. A beautiful Canes custom cart is just off of the Pro Shop right now. Sponsored by Charles and Anne-Marie Kane. There's no charge for this. Your entry into the tournament gives you one shot of every player on the 6th hole, and the first hole-in-one wins this incredible Canes custom cart. It's even more bling, even better than last year's beautiful one. Hello, Director. Hello, Pro.
Good morning.
Hey, Pro.
He'll be joining us very, very shortly in 40 minutes. That melodious voice was the voice of Jeff Bonneke. So that we have on the 6th hole. We have a second hole-in-one opportunity today on the 16th hole, a $5,000 cash prize. And here's what we're asking. And the players have been wonderful about this. Out of 124 players, usually about 100 or more take us up on this. They make a $10 contribution at the hole. Also, there's a little surprise waiting for you at this assignment. Noah Hurley Baker and my nephew Christian Horning-Finneran will be manning, as they did last year, this 16th hole. And they're not just a surprise. There's another little treat that will be waiting for each of the golfers that will be especially appreciated on a warm day. So when you pay the $10, your shot, your tee shot, gives you the opportunity, if you hit the first hole in one on the 16th hole, you will win $5,000. This is sponsored by Vaughn and Margie Reel. And Margie Reel, actually Margie is going to be on the 6th hole. Christian and Noah will be on the 16th hole. So we have those two things that are going on. And Jim, as you know, you've done putting contests and things like that. We always threaten to do that. We haven't done it in 17 years. But we had one hole in one. Now for a number of years, we have 2 hole-in-one competitions. And then we have the longest drive. It started out at $100. It's now $250. We had the closest to the pin, ditto, started out as a $100 prize. It's now a $250 prize. And as you know, Jim, because you're the best at this, golfers love the opportunity. They're already competing, and they love the opportunity to do these things, the competition skills things.
Absolutely. It makes the day even more fun. And when you win, you know, everybody, you're happy, and everybody else is not happy.
22 minutes past the hour, live from the Linwood Country Club, Hurley in the Morning on the 17th annual Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open. Our golfers arrive about 8 o'clock. They have the full 8 o'clock hour to register, get ready, get their bags to where they need to be. And they do such a great job here at the Linwood Country Club. Have a nice breakfast, mingle. It's a really nice social atmosphere. And then at 9 o'clock, we'll go out onto the course like we always do at about 10 minutes before the shotgun start, about 10 before 9. And then we'll talk to a few people as I make my walk to, right before all the golf carts are queued up and ready to go. And as I mentioned, we have a full field, 31 foursomes. We say a full field, 124 golfers, and each of them are getting a nice little swag bag. We did a beach bag for a number of years. It's nice. I've actually seen it in Disney World. People love it. And we did that for a number of years. Margie's idea was to change it. And last year we changed to a beautiful shoe bag. I don't know if Jim saw it or not, but you'll see it before he goes. It's a beautiful bag. It's great for travel. It's logoed up, ventilated, a lot of room to pack neat stuff. And it's made to put your shoes in so that the shoes don't touch anything around them, whether they're in a suitcase or in your golf bag, whatever the case might be. So you'll have that to look forward to. There'll be a beautiful logoed golf towel, tee pack. So that will have a divot tool, ball markers, tees. That's a nice little thing. You'll get a sleeve of balls in your bag and a few other things. So the golfers have that to look forward to. Jim, I want to talk, obviously, for most of the 17 years, this would be one day of the U.S. Open would be over, and we would be on Friday talking about, who's looking what after one round. This is one of the rare opportunities that the U.S. Open is completed, and we can talk about it. I watched it, particularly the last round. I thought Rory McIlroy, when he had the one-shot lead after 13 holes, I thought he was going to do it. I don't know if you agree with me, but with what he did at 16 and what he did at 18, it's hard to say anything other than he choked.
Yeah, and I don't like the word.
I don't either.
I hate the word choked because he played 69, 70 other holes tremendously, but at the end of the day, he missed 2 little putts, and it was sad.
There was break. It's not like they were dead straight, but he should have made them, and as you say, for the entire tournament, he never missed a putt inside 5 feet the entire tournament until 16 and 18.
There's another stat that a lot of people haven't read. He made in his the last 498 3-footer under putts in a row.
Wow!
And then he misses 2 out of the last 3 holes. It was. I guess we're going to talk a lot about the Open, but it was a fantastic Open. I am very pleased with the winner. There's a lot of debate about it. Maybe we'll talk more about LIV and the PGA Tour. But what problems the PGA Tour is having with losing players to LIV has been brought on by themselves. Bad, in my opinion. The commissioner of the PGA Tour is weak, Jay Monahan, and I think he should go. I know that's a bold statement.
I agree with you.
And I'm not sure where it's going to go, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have to make a deal because DeChambeau is a hero right now. He has completely changed his persona.
Yeah. You see how he played to the crowd. He everything you just said is true. He's reinventing himself and even his entire physique. The one thing about Bryson DeChambeau that I would like there to be full disclosure on is he was gargantuan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he bulked up big time.
But that didn't look natural to me. I'm not accusing him.
He would admit that. No. What he did, I don't know.
I don't know what he did, but that didn't look natural to me. It was freakish.
His philosophy was get big, get stronger, hit it as far as, which still
By the way, he did have limited success with that.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
Now, but he is now a size that's just perfect.
Yeah, he looks really good. He's an amazing person, and besides the way he turned his persona around was, besides what you said, he's all over YouTube giving lessons to people in a funny way. He's very, very funny. He realizes he's an entertainer. He plays to the crowd, and so I think he's a great champion.
Josh, don't worry, that was my Ring camera. My phone should be on silent, but I need to hear certain things. If Chris needs me, I keep it so that I can hear. That's Margie activating the Ring camera. I didn't see her, but I know it. Josh was looking at his phone like, did I do this? You didn't do it, Josh. Josh Hennig, our executive producer today. I did give you a shout out while you were outside. So I love when someone realizes that they need to correct a few things. His reputation improved so much. His adoration of the fans, so smart what
absolutely.
He did.
And I think it's going to change the whole face of this debate. I believe they're going to have to make a deal. You cannot have the best players in the world not competing in major champion.
Let me ask you a question about that, though. We're going to be going to break in a couple minutes, so we can start it. Yeah. And if we need more time, we'll finish it after the bottom of the hour. Quick break that we're going to take. Jim Fraser, I'm Hurley in the Morning. We're live at the Linwood Country Club. Chris Coleman, manning Spaceship WPG. Josh Hennig, doing a great job here with us as our field executive producer. So I'm in really good hands. Jim, here's my only concern. Tiger Woods was offered so much money, more than $1 billion. Rory McIlroy offered a ton of money. You had other players that were offered a whole lot and didn't take it. Phil Mickelson, DeChambeau, Jon Rahm, a lot of people did take the money. Now, look, I'm happy they're back and they're getting to play in the major tournaments because that would be terrible. But they're not counting those points. And I want to have a conversation when the music's playing us out. I want to have a conversation about this because I don't think it's fair that you could go to LIV and you have every benefit of the PGA and the other people that turned it down lost all that money. It's not fair, and we have to find a way to balance the scales. We'll talk about it with Jim Fraser next. Don't go away. Hurley in the Morning. Live on the road.
This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Details are still a little sketchy this morning, but what we do know is Atlantic City Councilman Mohammed Zia was arrested last night in the Atlantic County Civil Courts building, taken out in handcuffs. Yesterday was day 2 of a hearing over Zia's residency. Sheriff Joe O'Donoghue says we'll learn more later on this morning. The reports that Zia is accused of tampering and threatening a witness. Zia has been released on a summons. Thousands of New Jersey residents could have their criminal records wiped out following a big clemency announcement coinciding with Juneteenth yesterday. Governor Murphy signed an executive order creating a new clemency initiative that he says will prioritize giving commutations to survivors of sexual abuse and those unjustly sentenced at the height of the war on drugs. Murphy is also creating a clemency advisory board that will advise the governor on applications. In the WPG Talk Radio 95.5 newsroom, I'm Bill Cake.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zarrow. Happy first day of summer. Temperatures still running about 10 degrees above normal as we sweat through another heat wave day. 90s inland, closer to 80 at the coast. Partly sunny and completely dry today. Tonight, mainly clear, low of 68. We'll do it again tomorrow. Mostly sunny and hot, inland high 91. Saturday, hazy, hot and humid, partial sunshine, maybe a pop-up thunderstorm, high of 90. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today. Here is an important safety.
Starting your day the right way with Hurley in the morning. WPG Talk Radio 95.5 and the WPG Talk Radio app. You're waking up with Hurley in the morning.
Established, reputable.
WPG Talk Radio 95.5.
Thank you. Welcome back. It is 35 minutes past the hour. 1 hour from now, we'll be visiting with Jack Chittarelli, who we've already chatted with. He is making his way to the Linwood Country Club literally as we speak. His ETA is about 7:15, and he's coming early. Most of our golfers will arrive right around 8 o'clock. They'll have the full 8 o'clock hour to register, have breakfast, and, just get to mingle. It's a really nice social element and quite a crowd that we have here today, and very, very grateful to all concerned. Certainly my employer, Town Square Media, our president, Michael Rubel, not only supports, but is playing in the event. And in fact, his foursome, they are the defending champions. They won the whole thing 1 year ago today. They're defending the same foursome defending today in the 17th annual Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open at the Linwood Country Club. Our content director, Joe Kelly, he would be playing, but he is in Wildwood at the incredible concert that's taking place, Barefoot Concert Series. Chris Coleman, our program director. Thank you, Chris. And Josh Hennig. And Josh and I go way, way, way back. Half his lifetime. Not quite half, but nearing, almost. We go back a long time. Is our esteemed executive producer, and he's a very talented on-air personality. Jennifer would usually be with me, and Jennifer is with Joe in Wildwood, and I asked Josh, would you do me this favor? And he immediately stepped up. So, Josh, thank you, because we can't do this without our team. Right before the break, Jim, I brought up the inequity of, because that sounds wonderful. I love, I love love. I love kumbaya. And that we should just all just forget that all this other stuff happened. But look at the guys that grabbed the dough. And then the theory is forget about that, and they get all the benefits of the ones that stayed loyal to the PGA. And I understand there was mistreatment, and they weren't getting everything they had coming to them. How do you fix something? I think they've done a reasonably okay job, because you have to have these players in the major tournaments. When that was a rule that you can't play in the major tournaments, I mean, come on, that's like kamikaze. You're just killing yourself. But is that fair? Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, and others who got offered big bucks and said, no, I'm not doing it. But then the crew that took the money, they should be eligible for the Olympics, and they should be treated, just the same. How is that right? Well,
I'll tell you, if you look right now, Rory McIlroy, who was a terrible critic of LIV, has come around. What they've realized, besides the money, we'll get to the money in a second, they've realized that these guys are their friends. They've been playing with them for years. They took the money, and who's to say whether it's the moral decision or not? In my opinion, too bad. I'm serious, and I think that you asked what it's going to take. Rory, I mean, not that he wouldn't take it, but Rory, Tiger, Rahm, they don't need the money. But yes, they're going to have to, the Saudi Investment Fund, Public Investment Fund, and the PGA Tour are going to have to come up with money, a formula, which is not going to make everybody happy, to pay some of the PGA Tour players money to satisfy them. That's what's going to happen.
And Saudi Arabia has the money.
Look, Harry, as you well know, all things being equal in a poker game, the guy or gal who has the money is going to win.
Yeah.
The Saudi Investment Fund has $990 billion, almost $1 trillion. PGA Tour cannot compete with that.
Yeah, they bought the game of golf.
Well, some call it sports washing. maybe they're going to buy the game of golf, and people are saying, well, look at their human rights record. Well, maybe this will help with their human rights problems, and because they'll be shining a light on it with all the publicity they're going to get. So, I mean, a lot of people disagree with me, and but that's the way I feel.
I disagreed up until the part where if there is a pool of money that does the best that you can do, because it's tough to make people whole that made a conscious decision to not participate. Because if you felt that going to Live was disloyal to the PGA, and you forego and said, I'm not going to take the money, I'm going to stay loyal to the PGA, why should it be exactly the same for the person that went and took the dough?
It probably shouldn't be, but
exactly.
That's the way it is. That's where we are. That's where we find ourselves.
I will
right
say
now.
The people like Mickelson and the others, Rahm, that took the money, they did go in with both eyes wide open and knew that the PGA was saying you're not going to be eligible for the major tournaments, and it would stand to reason that if they don't recognize Live, then you're not going to get the points that you need,
the world points,
to make the Olympic team. So I have to say, I would love to see Bryson DeChambeau. I thought he handled it very well, by the way, as he was drinking wine with the Trump family out of the U.S. Open Cup. That was spectacular. That was amazing. I think he handled it pretty well. He wants to be on the team. He's disappointed not being on the team, but he handled it in this smart way that he has reinvented and rebranded himself.
Exactly. He does deserve to be on the team, but I think that'll come.
It's like Caitlin Clark. People are going bananas. She's not on the Olympic team. Yeah. Honestly, I think they should have done a better job just saying that all 12 of the people we picked are better players. And this is about putting the best. I love the Caitlin Clark story, and she's great. And look, she makes like $90,000 a year, but $28 million with Nike. And there's a lot of jealousy, and these Reese flagrant fouls and stuff like that. She's getting almost hazed in the women's league. But she also brought charter flights and a lot of notoriety that it wouldn't have. But I wouldn't just put her on the Olympic team for those reasons. She's going to be the face of the game, but you have to earn your way. These are seasoned players that have played at that level. She has not. Yeah,
I'm certainly not a basketball expert, but I've listened to a lot of the announcers, Charles Barkley for one. A lot of these players are not happy the way she's being treated physically.
I totally agree.
But they are, as you say, these other players are great players.
Yeah.
As you just said, and I don't know who the 12 best players are, and I'm pretty sure that they wanted the 12 best players on the team. Not having her is a public relations problem, but from a basketball standpoint, they probably have a great team. Will probably win the gold medal.
Let's bring up one other, because now we're into pop culture. Let's bring up one other sports icon, because I mean, 93 years. We should all be blessed with 93 years. So I'm not sad that Willie Mays, he lived such a long life, but you can make the case, and Don Hurley has, better than anyone I've ever heard. It is called the case for Willie Mays as the greatest player of all time. I always say it's Babe Ruth. Other people pick different people, and these are subjective things. But you can make the case that the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays, is the greatest Major League Baseball player of all time. The GOAT.
I would have to agree.
I think I do. That's a switch for me.
Maybe I'm just from that era, but not to throw names around, but I was fortunate to get to know Willie Mays during the 1980 Senior Tour Tournament, because he worked for Bally's, and Bally's was our sponsor. And he sat around, I mean, just as a man, he was just funny and gracious, and could tell stories for hours and hours. And that doesn't make him the greatest baseball player, but he's a wonderful man.
He came at a time where African Americans were not treated right. And boy, did he conduct himself as a gentleman.
Yes, he did.
I mean, I can't say enough about him. He called my twin brother the Don, not just Don. And Don has a picture posted for Willie on a baseball to the Don. because he thought Don was the boss, the Don.
Yeah.
So he was the Don. Willie Mays did not have a racial bone in his body, totally inclusive, beautiful man. And that's just on top of the fact. That's not why I say he's the GOAT defensively as a hitter. And I'll tell you what, you never know. Today, if you brought a player up and they went something like 0 for 13, then they got one hit, then they went something like 0 for 19, it's a very good chance that player would be sent back down to the minors and never given the opportunity to come back. They would have called it a cup of coffee, as Joe Torre calls when you get just a short little moment and it's over. Because I interviewed him once and he said, yeah, he came up for a cup of coffee. So Willie Mays started his career 0 for 13. He went to Leo DeRocher. He said, I can't hit Major League pitching. Leo DeRocher told him, as long as I am the manager of this team, you will be in the lineup and you will be our starter. And then his next at-bat was against Warren Spahn, and he jacked a mammoth home run. Then he had another bad skid, and then he became the Willie Mays that we know.
Great story, didn't it?
Isn't that cool?
No,
yeah.
It really is cool.
Yeah, very, very, very neat. So we mourn the loss of the Say Hey Kid. When it was said that Willie wouldn't be at that famous game that was coming up, now you know why.
Absolutely.
He wasn't well enough to be there, or he would have. So I think he will go down in many people's estimation as the greatest of all time. So let's get back to golf, Jim, because the recent past, when I say the recent past, we'll say the past, almost the length of this event, the past 15, 20 years. Mm-hmm. You had golf have, I guess like a lot of things in life, cyclical, up and down, mm-hmm. and the local golf clubs were having problems. Mm-hmm. They were seeking revenue through weddings and special events and golf outings, mm-hmm. and things that they absolutely needed. COVID-19 comes along, and while it decimated 1/3 of restaurants, as you know, went out of business forever, mm-hmm. but the golf industry, blessed by COVID-19, went gangbusters.
Golf's never been in a better position than it is today, and you're absolutely right. COVID brought golf back. I've said this for many years. Golf was not in a recession from around 2005 to 2017. It was in a depression.
Yes.
And hundreds and hundreds of golf courses closed for development or just went bankrupt or whatever. Caused by a lot of things. We won't get into any of the politics of it because I could go on about that for a long time. Yes. This is not a day for controversy, but no, golf is back. People are, I'm amazed at the young people that are getting into golf. And if you can get through the first year of golf can be painful because it's a hard game. But if you can get through the first year, you can pretty much get hooked on the game of golf, and that's what's happening. And it's really great. It's really great to see. The clubs are full. Public golf is doing great. They're building more golf courses now. There's, as you said, it's cyclical, but right now we're certainly in the upswing. We're leveling off a little bit, but
charity golf tournaments were something you needed.
Yes,
they don't need them now.
They don't need them now. That's exactly right. So the price is going up.
But they've been.
But you're hanging in there.
We're fortunate. The Doherty family. Mm-hmm. has been amazing to us. So we're very, very blessed to be able to continue because there are a lot of golf clubs. And as you know, this is a private club.
Sure.
We're very, very fortunate to be able to be here, and we know it. Mm-hmm. It's Jim Fraser. I am Harry Hurley, live from the Linwood Country Club. It's the 17th annual Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open. We have coming up right after the top of the hour break, Jeff Bonneke. He is the Director of Golf Operations and the Golf Professional. He doesn't know this, but I'm going to surprise him because I did a little homework to find out that he is a past champion of the New Jersey section, PGA.
Very good.
That's his biggest win of his career. So we're going to brag about him and surprise him with that. I don't think he heard me say that. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And here's Margie. Hi, honey.
Hey, Marge.
Morning.
Thanks for all you do.
Sure.
And it gets very exciting. It's like we were building our 4-hour, 6-minute broadcast on charity open day builds throughout the morning. It's always a great beginning because my longtime pal, Jim Fraser, does the 6 o'clock hour. It's very special. It's something that's very meaningful to me, and the content, Jim, that you bring is always just, first rate. And then we do some long form interviews in the 8 o'clock hour when the golfers are all over the place. It gets frenetic, and we bring people in as quick as we can. And the next thing you know, we're out there getting ready for the shotgun start. I will tell you what, for me, if you want to say the chairman of the event, to not have to sweat the weather was such a great feeling. Even 2 weeks out, there was never a time where there was any rain for today. And you know this, Jim. If you do everything, you do all the work, you do all the planning, you get all the golfers, you get all the merch that you need and everything, and then the weather is thumbs down, that's, you have no control.
Well, as I said, I did this for a long time, and over the many, many years, I had to learn how to fight off the disappointment, because there was plenty of times. Our own big tournament, the James Sonny Fraser tournament, named after my uncle who died at 34 and was Speaker of the Assembly in New Jersey and a great golfer. Big tournament in South Jersey. And I don't know, out of the 55 years I think that we had it, I want to say at least 7 or 8 was rainouts, and we had to change the golf course and flooding, and so you're blessed. Let me tell you.
It's crazy. And tell me if I need to do something that either unconsciously we've been totally arrogant or just stupid, maybe a combination of both. We don't even have a rain out. We never. I remember when we first started. Hey Jim, we need a rain out. He goes, don't worry about it. He goes, if we need a rain out, we'll work it out. Don't worry. You'll get another date, and we'll just work it out. So we don't even have a rain date. It's crazy. Wow. And you know what? I know it's going to happen one year. Like all 124 golfers are going to be here, and it's going to be like, can we play? Some kind of decision has to be made. Mm-hmm. Everybody's here. And if you don't go, when are you going to do it? Are we allowed to come back tomorrow? People have busy schedules, so that's the kind of thing. You might play 9 holes. You might do this. You might do that. You might give everybody a rain check. They can go back and play when they want, but it's not the same, of course. But it hasn't happened yet. And I know it may never. Yeah. It's gonna.
But I just wanted to. If it's, I don't know how much time we have, but as I sit here and look out over the golf course, I just love this time of morning to look at this. All these guys that are working, gals that are working out there started at 5 o'clock. I know you probably started at 3 or 4, but as a little boy, 10 years old, my first job in golf was raking sand traps. In those days, we did not have tractors that raked traps. You lugged a 8 or 10 pound rake around and raked every trap. And you raked yourself out of the trap, yes, right? And I hated that job. Yeah. And I think my old man thought it was funny, and he paid me nothing. But I look at these guys; they're out there working, cutting greens, and changing the sprinklers, and mowing the grass. It's just to me, it's a beautiful sight. Well, that's what I meant by when I said this goes through your veins like blood. Yeah. It's plasma, and you can't do it. You always were mindful of that. The team, of course, everybody has a role. Absolutely, and you dealt with times where you even had restrictions on watering. It's like, hey, we have a golf course. Mm-hmm. We got to water the golf course. You've had to deal with a lot of things over the years. Yeah, water restrictions became all of a sudden a big environmental thing, where actually a golf course, if you compared to people that water their grass and they want a nice green grass, well, try playing golf off your lawn. Golf course superintendents are environmentalists, and they use as little water and chemicals as they possibly can. And that became an issue. It's calmed down now. You have people that the golf course was there first. They built a home on the golf course. Now they don't want them cutting at 6:30 in the morning. So they go to the police or the town council, and there's there's all kinds of different things that happen in this game, but in this business. But we get through it.
You're listening to Jim Fraser. I'm Hurley in the Morning. This is the Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open, 17th annual. We're at the Linwood Country Club and already having a great time. Jim, we're about 5 minutes before the top of the hour. Give us your take on the future of golf.
Well, the amateur game, the public game, I think is in really good shape right now. People got into the game. Access to the business became a little too easy, and people learned that over the years. It's like any other business. It's a business. I mean, you got to know what you're doing, and it takes experience and training and all that sort of thing. But now people are building golf courses. They know what they're doing. The science of building golf courses changed drastically. The food and beverage end has become a profit center. It always was for us, but a lot of clubs lose money on food and beverage. Here you have the Dockeries who really know what they're doing in food and beverage. So you have professionals in the game now. So I feel good about public golf and private golf.
Excellent.
As far as the tour goes, as I said, I think they're going to have to make a deal because the public is not going to put up with a guy like DeChambeau not being able to play or John Rahm. They're just going to have to make a deal. And I predict they will in the next 6 months have
be
some
fair,
sort of deal.
do it right, and it's recoverable. It's not even a problem. It's only money. That's all. The rest of it will be okay. There'll be some hard feelings because even though I'm getting paid, they did this and it should have paid a price for it, and now they're right back with me like nothing happened. So there'll be people that will, even if it's to themselves, they'll hold a grudge. Here's something I want to cover in the we've got about 3-4 minutes. I'm just going to stipulate I am so in favor of this decision that I would love to debate anyone that would be counter to this opinion. And I don't think you're going to be, but you're going to speak for yourself. Golf made a decision that Tiger Woods will be given exemptions, special exemptions. In my opinion, Tiger Woods saved golf.
Absolutely.
And
I just saw that 2 days ago.
Correct.
I think it's a fantastic decision.
I mean, you won them in those events. I guess there's somebody out there, and maybe they're hung up on personal behavior. You got to separate all that. It's true. He blew his career up and all that, and he paid obviously a heavy price because I think he was going to beat Jack Nicklaus, and that shows you how hard Jack Nicklaus's record is to beat because everybody thought Tiger would do it. And although I will say this, Jack Nicklaus played against several great players and a lot of very good players. The competition today, I think, is much tougher to be a dominant. And that's why with Tiger Woods doing what he did for all those years, I don't know if anybody can ever do that again.
No, I don't think so either. And it's, as you said, we have to separate his personal life from what he did playing and also for golf.
Yeah.
He absolutely brought golf back. He made golf cool.
Yeah.
And
just the difference when he would be there during the weekend, the viewership would be unbelievable. If he wasn't there, it would be down. Yeah, so I think it was a good decision. I don't know how much he's going to play. I do think he'll be able to play the senior tour. He loves golf too much not to play. This is a question we always cover. The Champions Tour. Exactly. We cover. That's why I think about that time Tom Watson almost won. We don't have time for that. He had it. Yeah. We always pose this question to Jim Fraser. And the answer has always been the same. I think it might be a different answer today. Will Tiger Woods win at least one more major? I don't think so. I don't either. That's the first time we ever said that. Yeah, his injuries and his age. He's physically not holding up. No, it's a shame, but I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I thought he played pretty well in this last Open. 7 over sounds like it's not so great, but he played it pretty darn well. He can't shoot the scores that he used to shoot. You never know. Like a given week, he could. Didn't Jack come out of nowhere? They considered an advanced age. 46 years old, he won the Masters. And that would probably be the course where Tiger could do it, wouldn't it? Yeah, definitely, because he knows Augusta inside out. He's confident, but
I don't see it happening.
Man,
I would love it, but I don't see it
Can you
happening.
imagine if lightning in a bottle could strike one more time? Jim, love the time we spent
Thank
together.
you. It's great.
Thank you.
And you don't need any luck, but I know it's going to be a great day.
And thanks for all your support over all these many years
My
for
pleasure.
being my friend.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
From Harry Hurley Way in the world's playground to the broadcast pioneers of Philadelphia Hall of Fame, you're about to find out why Harry Hurley has been named to the Talkers Magazine list of the 100 most important talk show hosts in the nation. Live from the studios of Town Square Media in Northfield, it's Hurley in the Morning on WPG Talk Radio 95.5 and the WPG Talk Radio app.
Thank you. Welcome back. 6 minutes past the hour. Hurley in the Morning live from the beautiful, and when I tell you beautiful, no hyperbole there. I mean, this is a wonderful, wonderful golf club, country club. The Linwood Country Club. We're at 500 Shore Road in Linwood. In the very near future, we have 124 golfers. For us, that's a sellout. We don't go 144. There's 5 beautiful par 3s here at the Linwood Country Club, and they will only have 1 foursome assigned, and then all the par 4s and par 5s. We'll have 2 foursomes, so that's 124 players, and it's really good for the event. It's really good for the players. It respects them. They're not waiting to take a shot, every single shot, waiting and waiting and waiting, which really demoralizes, I believe, your event. So I think we hit a sweet spot a number of years ago. Well, we've always done it. 124 is our sellout, so we're very, very proud and pleased about that. Also, my friend Jeff Bonneke is here.
Good morning.
And Chelsea is going to join us after. We'll do half with Jeff, half with Chelsea String. Jeff is the Director of Golf Operations, the golf professional here at the Linwood Country Club. And I have to say, I believe it's the greatest win of his career, past champion, New Jersey Section PGA. Yes, my friend, I did my homework.
Come on. That was, you know what year that was?
That's okay, 1996.
It was 1996.
Come on. No notes, man. I'm flying without it,
And they called me the bearded Bonneke. I had a big goatee at the time.
Now you're the well-groomed. You're the fashionable.
And you know where that took place? We were talking about it. So you mentioned it, at our prior guests' prior location at Atlantic City Country Club.
Very nice.
That was our Head Pro Championship, our PGA section event, and that was quite a while ago. But
so in '96, would the Caesars Entertainment have owned the Atlantic City Country Club?
No,
at that time?
That was under the Fraser's regime.
It was still Fraser's.
Yeah,
then. Okay.
yeah.
Caesars bought it later.
Yeah, not until the I'm listening early 2000s.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about the course.
Wow, how about that? Wow. The golfers are in for a spectacular ride today. The place is absolutely perfect. The conditions are fantastic. Our day is wonderful. I listened to you this morning coming in, talking about rain, moving the day, and just having this blessed sunshine that follows you wherever you go. It's going to be a great day.
We are fortunate. When Jeff sends the golfers out at 9 a.m., it will be 78 degrees, a whisper of wind, about 5 miles an hour out of the southwest. It's going to be a great day.
It certainly is.
The condition of the course is magnificent, isn't it?
Listen, I'm going to tell you that it is, and you're not going to be let down.
I was mentioning to Chelsea earlier and to Jeff and Chelsea right before airtime that our golfers love the Linwood Country Club. It is, we've done this 17 straight years. It's the finest course that we've ever played on, period.
Thank you. Because it is, 2018, I left the facility I worked at for 17, 18 years and came to this property when ownership changed and just dove into what their vision was and what it has become. And we attained it last year. It's an awesome little gem along the coastline here. Everyone knows about Linwood Country Club. You've seen it. You've been around it. But, gosh, it is so good across the board, from the conditions, the camaraderie, the number of events and social activities that we have for our members and our guests. From our Foxton and our outside entertainment. It's just a place you want to hang your hat.
The other thing and I don't say this to be gratuitous to the Doherty family, but you have real professionals in every aspect. on the golf side, and you're not going to find a better pedigree in terms of the food and beverage side.
Gosh,
so,
no.
So there are a lot of golf clubs and a lot of country clubs that have food, and maybe it's okay or even good food. The quality of the food and beverage program at the Linwood Country Club is gourmet restaurant caliber.
They're experts. They're experts in their field, without question. And to be able to bring that and blend that to a golf operation is just such an added amenity and the value of what your membership is.
And literally, you're talking about a family that has more than 100 years of experience, and everywhere they've done it, whether it's Doc's or Doherty's Steakhouse at resorts or the food and beverage program here at the Linwood Country Club, it is always masterclass. Let's talk about some of the special things. And I'm going to mention generally when I greet the golfers. Jeff will talk to the golfers in detail about exactly which hole and all of that. But we have 2 hole-in-one opportunities. There's a beautiful, just off of the pro shop, it's even more beautiful and more blinged out and more. It's got a backup camera. I mean, it is state of the art. It's not a golf cart. It is a street legal car. It's called a Cane's Custom Cart, sponsored by Charles and Anne-Marie Kane. It is beautiful. It's
gorgeous.
Dark gray, and it's got some offset. It's right off the pro shop, Jussie. It is beautiful. So there is no additional charge. Your entry into the tournament, each player will have 1 shot, and the first one to get a hole-in-one, and we've been close. We were close here at Linwood, and we've been very close over the years, within inches of a hole-in-one. Somebody's going to get it one of these days. And it is beautiful, and that's thank you to Charles and Anne-Marie Kane. Charles is playing today. Charles has had a foursome that has actually been able to win this tournament in the past, and very competitive year in and year out. We have a second hole-in-one opportunity for a $5,000 cash prize, and we're asking you on this particular hole-in-one opportunity, the 16th hole, sponsored by Margie and Vaughn Reel, to make a $10 contribution, usually about 100 out of 124, in that range. I hope you all do, because we're going to give all of that to Atlantic Cape Community College. So it's at least going to, if it's anywhere near 1,000, I will make it a $1,000 grant for the Atlantic Cape Community College.
That's fantastic.
So we love that, Jeff. And we have 2 now memorial competitions, because sadly, 2 dear friends of mine, and they played every year just about. Frank Campo every year, Joe Pellegrino every year except one, and he was having cancer treatments at the time, and both thought they were going to be here this year. The 9th hole will be the Frank Campo Memorial Longest Drive Competition. That's sponsored by Michael Merlino of Atlantic Accounting Associates. We've upped the prize to $250 cash prize. The 10th hole will be the Joe Pellegrino Memorial Closest to the Pin. I selected Joe for that prior to even, I still don't believe that Frank left us, but Frank was not supposed to leave us. He was supposed to be in the hospital for 2 weeks and be out on the golf course a week after that. And being here at our tournament seemed to be an assurity, proof that life is precious, never take any of it a single day for granted. So Joe Pellegrino, we knew he had passed away right before Frank, a little bit before, and I knew he was a past winner of the Closest to the Pin. If you know Joe, great Philadelphia television news personality, sports director, TV, just great. And he loved our event, and he played every year. So we've named the 10th hole the Joe Pellegrino Memorial Closest to the Pin competition. Again, that's sponsored by Michael Merlino, and it's a $250 cash prize. So, Jeff, you know this. The golfers play for the prize of being the champion, and then they have these 4 neat little side opportunities.
Listen, I think you had mentioned something earlier about why do you play in the event? Yes, you'd love to win. You'd love, an opportunity for the prize on hole number 6, the Cane's Cart. That is fantastic. But I think you do it more for the philanthropic side, the charity, the fundraising efforts, and I don't think anyone's blind to that.
No,
there's a ton of integrity among these players. They come here to enjoy the day, the conditions, the food, the whole setting. But what you've done for 17 years to make it magical, welcoming, fun, easy on our end on operation sides. you give me all the accolades of giving you a good event. All I do is retype the names into the computer and give you some scorecards. You set the whole thing up. That's great.
We do our job, don't we, Jeff?
Yes, you do.
Well, what's neat? It is a partnership, though, because once the event starts, though, I mean, you are right there. You handle in the festivities, the teams that place 1, 2, and 3, and the winner of the closest to the pin and the longest drive. And we've developed a friendship, and we've developed a real partnership, and I appreciate that, Jeff.
Yeah, there's a summary that we have to do for you. So, my staff is great. You make it easy for us.
Thank you.
So we're happy to be a part of it.
That's what we want to do. Talk about becoming a member at the Linwood Country Club. What can people do?
Oh my gosh! Talk about becoming a member at Linwood. The industry.
Because if you don't play in the Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open, you don't play at the Linwood Country Club necessarily.
No, unless you're a guest of a member, to have that opportunity. But many of the facilities in South Jersey have gone to a wait list, 40, 50, 60 players. We had a wait list in 2024 that we had exercised, and then we have one for 2025. We're at a capacity of members that we think we can handle, where it's not going to be a slow play or tough time getting on to making a tee time. But gosh, if you have interest in becoming a member, you can get your name on a wait list. There's some submittals of information that we would take, and then we would get into the end of 24. We reach out to our membership to see who's coming back and how many holes we have to fill.
Make a closing comment on our event from your wide spectrum of observation.
The number of outings that I've been a part of, and every golf professional will tell you, their preparation, here comes the other one, here comes this, here comes that. I look forward to this because it is a very easy operation for us to run. You do so much in your prep work. The guests that you have, this is a different event. This is a different event than many other outing events or charity fundraisers. Your personality, your show, your direction, and then your listeners. Everyone's tuned in, listening to us right now. And they still are, and I'm sure they're wishing us a well day. May all your philanthropic sides be full and bountiful. And listen, I look forward to this day because it's an easy outing day. And if any other golf professional has one of those events a year among a dozen that they have, this is the top of the list.
Jeff, it's an honor to do this with you.
Thank you, Harry.
At about 10 of 9, I make my way out through the crowd and meet up with Jeff, and we welcome the golfers. And at about 9 o'clock, Jeff will send everybody out. So I look forward to seeing you in a few hours, Jeff.
See you soon.
Chelsea,
thank you, Harry.
Thank you, sir. He is such a pro to work with. It's in his title, but he delivers it in terms of deeds. The title is one thing. Director of Golf Operations, Golf Professional, PGA, and a champion in his own right, Jeff Bonneke. Great partner to work with. Jack Chitterelli is joining us after the bottom of the hour. To piggyback off of what Jeff said, the crowd that comes to our event is amazing. Very likely the next governor of the state of New Jersey will be spending 30 minutes this hour with us. That's no joke. Jack Chitterelli coming up in just a little bit. Chelsea String, my friend that I work with now for years. It's not new anymore, but it's always a pleasure each year. It starts with emails of this is where we are now, and then we see this mosaic, Chelsea, get filled in. It starts as a concept, a construct, and then it actually turns into an event that we can literally put on paper and say, here are 124 names, and we believe they're all going to be here, and they're all going to eat twice, play once, and we love working with you, Chelsea.
Thanks for having me.
Could you tell us your title just in case something has changed?
Sure. I'm the banquet manager for Linwood Country Club.
Yep. And you're great.
Thanks. As Jeff said, you guys are great. You guys are easy to work with. This is an outing that is seamless. It is, mostly the same as far as setup on our end. Year after year, it's very, very easy to work with you guys.
Tell our golfers the breakfast is wonderful.
Breakfast is great.
The lunch is super, super unbelievably great, and everybody comments on that. What are folks going to be eating today? They're making their way in right now as we speak.
Right now, this morning, we will be having breakfast sandwiches, pork roll, egg and cheese, bacon, egg and cheese, bagels, and fruit, as well as coffee. So in case you forgot to stop at Starbucks on your way, we can make sure you have a cup of coffee before you head out. We will have our cart girl out on the course, so anyone who needs a cocktail on the course, she will be around to take care of that. And then for lunch service, we will have, as Harry had mentioned, the lunch is a great portion. We have our roasted chicken breast, which was a huge hit last season. Roasted chicken breast with Brussels sprouts, tomatoes, potatoes, and a truffle chicken jus. Some salads. So, yeah, it's a great spread for
very, very nice.
For lunch.
Chelsea, talk about banquets here at the Linwood Country Club.
We are in the height of our season. We have 65 weddings this season, as well as probably another 100 or so events. It's been great. I mean, we are really, really thriving in the event world. It's great to see events coming back now that, people are hosting again, and, we're doing 200-person weddings again. It's really great to just see the business thriving after such a lull with COVID. So it's been great to have really everything back to where it was before.
Hey, Governor, go check out to your left, and you'll see the car that you're going to win when you hit the hole-in-one. Chitterelli's in the house. He'll be joining us right after the bottom of the hour break. We're visiting with Chelsea String, the banquet manager here at the Linwood Country Club, who has an awesome dad who could be listening right
Thank
now.
Thank you. Thanks.
I would be pleased about that.
It's a little early for him. He's retired. He's probably still sleeping.
But I do know he has listened to Hurley in the morning, though.
He does.
Okay.
Yes.
There's a chance.
Yeah, there is a chance he's listening.
What's the movie, Dumb and Dumber? There's a chance. There's a chance. So anyhow, if you are listening,
hi, Dad.
It's wonderful. Chelsea, it's great working with you. We love the experience. We try to do our part. You guys always do your part, and it's been a very special collegial partnership that we've had.
It's been great.
And it works.
Yes, it does. And we have beautiful weather today.
Do you realize, I can't say it enough, do you realize we have never had rain for 17 consecutive years? Even when we moved it. Our first year was a Friday. It was beautiful. The next year we moved to Thursday, and this is where we're staying. And Thursday was beautiful last year. Friday was a horrific nightmare.
It rained.
Terribly.
I remember. Yes.
Washout.
Torrential downpour.
Yes.
Because we were in the middle of member guest.
It's just insane. So follow us. I've been telling brides for 17 years, get married on Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open Day, and that's all I can say is you're welcome, because they would never have had a rain out in 17 years if they follow us.
It's impressive.
It's not too much to ask.
No. That's all they want is great weather. They want great weather.
A banquet at the Linwood Golf and Country Club, I can tell you, because we have a banquet within an event, our players rave about the food and beverage. It's a comment that I made earlier with Jim Fraser and again with Jeff Bonneke. This is an operation that understands excellence in food and beverage. It's not like, hey, we're a golf course and the food's okay. I used the example the other day. I was teasing on air, and I'm a big fan of Sylvester Stallone and the Rocky movies. So he opens up Adrian's restaurant, and somebody asks him, hey, how's the food? He goes, it's edible. It's okay. It's like the food didn't have to be great. You come to Adrian's, the food's edible. The food here is exceptional. Yes. And you make it that way.
Yeah, it's, working for the Dohertys, they have been in business, as you had mentioned earlier, for over 100 years. So this is what they do. They are, in the food and beverage industry for a reason. Dohertys, Docks, and Knife and Fork. So how important the service and the food is at any of those properties was really important, that we made sure that with their name that we are giving the same food and the same service that you would expect at a property that's been open for 125 years like Docks.
Talk about somebody listening right now that would like to have an event. How do they get started?
Well, first things first is to reach out to us, either via email or via phone.
And feel free to give the information if you have it.
Telephone number is 609-927-6134. And email address is cstring@linwoodcountryclub.com. June is our busiest month, so there has only been about 5 days without events.
Wow.
But July through December, we have availability. Can't promise you anything on the weekends because there's weddings. But during the week, we are happy to accommodate parties from 30 to 300.
I know, obviously, it's a membership club. It's a private club. Are there lunch opportunities where people can come to lunch? Are you open for that?
Our restaurant is open 7 days a week. Our dining room and bar is open for lunch Wednesday to Sunday. And then it is open for dinner 7 days a week in the dining room and bar. On Mondays and Tuesdays, the lunch is closed in the dining room, but we are open at our Fox Den, which is also open 7 days a week, weather permitting. It is a more casual dining across our parking lot, if you would call it our halfway house. Mm-hmm. It is thriving. It has been a great season. We have a ton of live music scheduled for the season. You can get yourself a burger, a hot dog, as you're coming around from hole 11 to hole 12. It will be open today, starting at 11 o'clock. So any golfer that wants to swing by, if they want to grab a cocktail, maybe grab a snack on their way, the Fox Den will be open as well. It's a great spot, great views, always a breeze. So
isn't it great, Chelsea, how the golf, of course, is a star, but the food and beverage opportunities, special events that you can do, weddings I've seen weddings here at the Linwood Golf and Country Club. Spectacular venue.
Thank you.
The photos, you have that scenic shot that is like iconic where you see the skyline. It's magical.
It's great. The views are great. Our brides appreciate the green golf course, the blue skies, and the blue water in the background.
We talk about this a lot. The game of golf, how it can intersect with charities, how it intersects with entertainment, special events, banquets, weddings. Many people listening right now chose a country club for their wedding.
Yes.
Because they know it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. You really get that outside feel while, still having that ballroom feeling for a wedding, but you still get to have those views and those pictures, which is super important. Every bride wants to have those beautiful pictures for her wedding day, and we're able to deliver on that as well. Closing comment. We have about a minute. Just that we are so happy to have the Harry Hurley Golf Tournament year after year, hoping for, it's a big charity event. We're happy that we're able to host, and, we look forward to the coming years. Thank you, Chelsea. You're welcome. So good to work with Thanks. You. When we come back after the bottom of the hour break, we're at 29 minutes past the hour, almost 30 minutes past the hour. Jack Chittarelli is in the house. Not only is he here to spend a special 25 minutes with us on air, but Jack entered a foursome in our 17th annual Hurley in the Morning charity event, and Jack has been a huge supporter of the Hurley in the Morning charity and makes it possible for us to write the number of grants that we're able to do. And it's very, very important, very meaningful. Jack Chittarelli joins us next, right after this brief timeout.
This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
Philadelphia woman Fallon Turner, 43, is sitting in the Cape May County jail this morning. Court says she allegedly assaulted a child in a pool, groped his father, then pushed an officer to put another money while staying at a Wildwood Crest motel on Ocean Avenue. Witnesses told police they saw a highly intoxicated woman acting out of control of the pool. Turner facing a slew of charges, including endangering the welfare of a child, 2 counts of aggravated assault on law enforcement, resisting arrest, and disorderly conduct. Cape May County prosecutor is warning the public of an increase in telephone scams. The latest involves calls from individuals who say they're members of law enforcement and claim that you have a warrant for your arrest and must be providing them cash in order to avoid going to jail. Another scam says that you missed your jury duty notice and have amassed fines and requires that you pay cash. Emergency work continues in Mullica Township. Columbia Road is closed to all traffic between Hamilton, Pleasant Mills, and Elwood Weekstown roads. It's going to be closed till further notice because of the emergency repairs of bridge approaches. Atlantic County officials say give yourself extra time, use an alternate route, or follow the posted detour. Report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A., copyright 2024. In the WPG Talk Radio 95.5 newsroom, I'm Bill.
You're waking up with Hurley in the morning. WPG Talk Radio 95.5. Hurley in the morning.
They really do separate fact from fiction.
WPG Talk Radio 95.5.
37 minutes past the hour. It is my pleasure to welcome to our live remote broadcast studio here at the Linwood Country Club. It's the scene. It's a spectacle, and it's going to get real busy in the next half hour. This 8 o'clock hour coming up straight ahead is absolutely magical. And so will this 24 minutes that we have with Jack Chitterelli. Jack and I are very, full disclosure, very long-time friends, which I'm extremely proud of. And I rarely do this. And as I get along in my career, I do it less and less and less. And there's a reason for that. I have to really believe in someone. And we don't talk politics on the Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open Day, but we'll talk geo things because I feel I owe it to our audience that isn't aware of this to say that long ago I personally endorsed Jack Chitterelli to be the next governor of the state of New Jersey because I believe he is the most qualified. I believe he has the best ideas, and I believe he has what it takes to bring New Jersey back, to give taxpayers a break, to give business and industry an opportunity to prosper in all the things that really none of them are political. The foundation of our country is based upon freedom and the ability. Hey, good morning. Good to see you, Leonard. And freedom and really the opportunity to grow to the limits that you're capable of. Hard work is supposed to deliver results that you can enjoy. If hard work leads to regressive confiscation level taxation, then there's no incentive to work hard. And then when you give others a whole lot for absolutely contributing nothing, you break the whole, I believe, philosophy of governance. So those and for other very important reasons, I personally endorse Jack to be our next governor. Jack, welcome to the program.
Harry, always great to be with you and truly appreciate your faith and confidence in my candidacy. We're going to get it done. And you just summed up what this campaign is really all about, getting people to feel confident that New Jersey is a place where they can live, work, retire, raise a family, start a business, all the above. As you know, too many people, they love the state, but they don't have great confidence that it's going to help them achieve their American dream. This candidacy is all about, my governorship will be all about, making people feel confident again they can achieve their American dream right here in New Jersey.
Is it still true, Assemblyman Chitterelli, is it still true that other than California, is New Jersey the state that more people are leaving?
It is true.
And it's heartbreaking when someone lives in the state maybe their whole life and raise their children here, and then they want to retire, but they cannot retire in the state that they love, so they have to go leave to South Carolina or to Florida or to somewhere else other than where they would otherwise love to stay. And, of course, they take with them all that productivity and bring it to a whole nother state. We want to become a state where people want to move into, not move out of.
That is correct. And that's why two of the planks in my platform that I'm most passionate about is, number one, freezing property taxes for life once you hit age 70. And like Pennsylvania, make all retirement income
tax. Would you consider that at age 64? As of yesterday? Is that too much to ask? Just teasing.
I'd be disappointed if you didn't lobby, Harry. I'd be very disappoed if you didn't lobby.
That is so shameful, and you know I don't mean it.
Well, it might be shameful, but it's honest.
Did you ever say, that's so shameful, I don't mean it? Yes, I do.
But the other thing I really want to do
ladies
is...
and gentlemen, I tried. to the 64 crowd, 64 to 69 and 11 months and 364 days. I tried. You can see I tried, and I'll keep trying.
Oh, as you know, I respect people that keep trying,
Yes.
Harry. But the other thing I really want to do is what they do in Pennsylvania. All retirement income should be tax-free. I mean, those two things are fiscally responsible. They don't blow a hole in the budget, as you hear some of these liberals talk about, and it would really change the perception of New Jersey, particularly for retirees.
Let me tell you what I think works. When America works, and we know this is true in the Reagan years, in the 4 years of President Trump, if you give people more of their money, it is amazing. Government, get out of the way. And what the people will do will be amazing. People will have more money to contribute to the Hurley in the Morning charity and like-minded charities like us to be able to help more people. I love the idea. Tipped wage earners that are earning short pay, minimum wage, they're living for tips. If we have an environment, I know it will take legislation. It's a promise right now of a presidential candidate, and it will take more than that. But if you said to somebody that lives off of tips, that your tips are no longer taxable income, this is life-changing.
This is life-changing. I love that proposal by the president. I mean, those are the things that show that we're in touch with everyday Americans, everyday New Jerseyans, and we want to make New Jersey more affordable, and the way to do that is by creating more jobs, more well-paying jobs, but also having people have more take-home pay. And you touched upon something else that I think is really important, Harry. My job as governor is to make sure that everyone has an equal opportunity, not equal outcomes. Outcomes are based on hard work.
Yeah.
These liberals today want to guarantee outcomes. We're not going to guarantee outcomes. That's not the American way. The American way is we provide equal opportunity, and then it's up to you to take advantage of that opportunity.
We're visiting with Jack Chitterelli. I think it's pretty much just an accepted principle of accounting that people recognize that Jack Chitterelli is a leading candidate of both parties to be the next governor. And you've done a lot of work to put yourself in that position. I've often commented that it's very difficult in this densely populated state of New Jersey of a little more than 9 million people, 21 counties, very diverse, as you know, and you've been through all of it, to get well known in the state. It's hard.
It is hard state in which to get earned media. You've been very, very gracious with your time, as has a number of radio show hosts all throughout the state, and I really believe in talk radio. That's the way to reach New Jerseyans. But as you know, Harry, the northern part of the state's in the shadow of the New York media market, the southern part of the state in the shadow of the Philadelphia media market, 564 towns, 21 counties, north, central, south, and Jersey Shore. It's the reason why I get out and do what I do every single day. Last night I spoke before a large group in Raritan Township of Herndon County, and today I'm proud to be down here in Atlantic County again. So you got to get up and down the state. I'm happy to do it.
And we're being careful because we have to not be political, but it's okay to bring up things that are objective. And here's one. You mentioned 500 and some municipalities. Well, as you know, we have more school districts than we have municipalities. We have a funding formula that I want to use a stronger word, but I want to have year 33 of my show, so I'll say it calmer in the end of year 32, that it's not good. It rewards things like Newark to the tune of big bucks so they can have $44,000 parties. I mean, that should be criminal.
That should be criminal. The superintendent recently had Fun Day and spent $50,000 of the school budget. Good morning. Joe Girallo.
I made a comment, but I wouldn't do it on air, but you're my backup, Josh. Yes. I said, Josh, I don't know exactly how the growing season is going. I said, but there's a really good chance that at some point during this broadcast, Gentleman Joe Girallo, and probably June Burns, but Gentleman Joe Girallo would come by with a healthy amount of fresh Hamilton blueberries.
And there they are.
And here they are. God is great. Thank you, Joe. Oh, my gosh. Hi, June. June Burns and Joe Girallo. Two greats right there.
Two greats. It's one of the reasons why the quality of life here in Atlantic County is really second to none. But we need a new school funding formula, one that treats suburban taxpayers fairly and one that has accountability. That superintendent throwing a $50,000 plus Fun Day for his staff when I've got school districts across this state that are now cutting out varsity sports because of what Phil Murphy's done to them on the current formula. One of the things I do on day one as governor is put forth a new formula that treats every school district fairly and passes muster with the state Supreme Court.
I've had it's not a pet peeve. It's something that I think either people have been afraid to tackle. The reliance of the property tax to fund public education. That never made sense to me. It hurts people on fixed income. It seems like the absolute wrong way to go. Do you have the ability, after this has been baked in for so many generations, to actually change the way that education is funded?
We do, and we need to, Harry. We're the only state in the country that funds education the way we do here.
It's terrible.
We're the only state in the country that does affordable housing, high-density housing, because of the Mount Laurel doctrine the way we do. We don't need to be, that's not a vanguard. That's an exception that doesn't work in terms of public policy. So listen, between the income tax, the sales tax, the lottery, the casino revenues, sports betting on down the line, we've got enough revenue in Trenton to solve these problems the way other states do.
We now have people working into July before they earn their first penny to keep. Mm-hmm. This is terrible.
It's terrible.
So I would love to talk further in another setting about what can be done, because that would be a life-changing event for all property taxpayers. Right now, if you look at your local purpose tax and your school purpose tax, the school purpose tax is more than your local purpose tax.
Correct.
And some municipalities buy a whole lot. So you take my hometown, for example. It's a very big town, a lot of schools. About 66% of local purpose tax is school purpose tax. That's got to change.
That's got to change. The other thing that's got to change, because of this crazy school funding formula we have, we need a reasonable range for the cost per pupil in districts across the state. It isn't fair, and what the Supreme Court doesn't know is that the cost per pupil in Newark, because of all the money we just give to them without any accountability and transparency, is north of $30,000 a year. Meanwhile, the school district I'm in is doing a great job of education at $16,000 a year. That's what the Supreme Court doesn't know. It's unfair. It's why we need a new formula.
I meant to send you a copy, and I've been copying who I believe will be Governor Chitterelli with a lot of the work that I do out of Atlantic City. Now, you're already incredibly well-versed, but nobody covers Atlantic City like we do. And
Let's be more specific, like you do.
Thank you. And there's nobody will debate that. It is what it is. Yesterday, because of great sources, they showed me a dumpster. And in that dumpster, you know when you were a kid and you had this big table and then there was a bench on each side and you had lunch, maybe in your gymnasium, if it was a multi-purpose room, and some places had the cafeteria and they could have that set up in there. Some have table and chairs. But there were scores of these things in a dumpster. They still could have been used, sources tell me. They could have been donated to churches, to other schools that need it. But because it's advantageous to trash stuff, because if you don't spend that money, you don't get it next year. That's another thing we have to change. Mm-hmm. You can't reward. Like, I guarantee you that Newark party was because they had cash to burn. As you know, the school year ends June 30th. So July 1st starts the new school year. And I know that from being an old school board member. So here we are. What a coincidence. $44,000 party. You said it's over 50. I thought it was 44. I'm wrong. So you have that money to do that because, it's almost June 30th. We got to spend. So this is rewarding horrific practices.
And it's why we need more accountability, and you're not just going to get that same money year over year over year, particularly when the educational outcomes, excuse my French, suck. 4 out of 5 kids in the Newark School District are not on grade level for reading, writing, and math. Think of the travesty of that. These are people that will be underemployed their entire lives because the school system failed them. And I believe, and this is in my gubernatorial platform too, Harry, we need school choice. We need vouchers. We need educational savings accounts. Every single time a charter school is opened in Newark, the demand has exceeded the supply, and some families are going home, sadly, not getting into the charter school. But by the way, in the 7 years that Phil Murphy's been governor, he's only approved 1 charter school, and that was in Patterson 2 weeks before the election because he knew he was in trouble. Why? Because he's owned by the NJEA. And one thing I make perfectly clear, I will not be owned by any special interests.
The social-emotional aspect that was lost during a very dishonest period, and as we learn more, we learn how dishonest it was. Kids should have gone to school. We were told to follow the science. There was no reason to shut down. We shut down because the powerful teacher unions had the power and the ability to shut schools down. Those years lost, and it wound up being multiple years, scores precipitously dropped because of that as well.
Here's what Phil Murphy did during the pandemic, and the legislative Democratic leadership is complicit in this. They killed veterans in our nursing homes. Yeah. They robbed people of their freedoms. They destroyed businesses, particularly on Main Street, and they caused significant learning loss in our students by shutting down those schools for 2 consecutive years. That's learning that will never be recovered. And they didn't even react afterwards with high-impact curriculum, after-school programs, or summer enrichment programs. They really did a disadvantage to those children.
Our whole 5A, because there is a 5B, I believe. Yeah, there is a 5B. Wow, you have a special foursome, and I did that on purpose. This was my championship high school track coach.
How about that?
He passed away. He wasn't supposed to. And I'll tell you, I still haven't processed that. These are the people that every week they played golf together, and Ken's going to stop by at some point in the 8 o'clock hour, and we're going to honor Frank. And this foursome will always be a memorial foursome in his name. We have also named a longest drive competition in Frank's name. So they are playing behind you. I put them behind you on purpose. You're the A assignment. They're the B assignment of the 5th hole. And you have a wonderful foursome. Jack Chitterelli for governor. We have incredible people here today, Governor.
All because of you, Harry. 17 years in a row. And listen, you're not the typical radio show host. You're a man of the community. The community has benefited because of the information you share with them each day, the discussion you foster, but also because of the money you invest in the community. And this is a great charity outing.
Well, it's not a secret. We want to share it with everyone because of the generosity of our contributors. With today's event, we have raised more than $1.5 million, and that has enabled us, because we only expenses we have to pay the country club and things like that.
Sure.
But nobody gets a salary. Everything goes to the bottom line, and we've been able to write literally, I don't even know, 1,000 grants over the past 17 years, probably more, hundreds at least. And this is why we're able to do it.
And you've got a great team here. They greeted me this morning. It was great to see them, and all led by your wife, Margie. So great to see all of you, and just another magnificent day. 17 years of magnificent weather. I don't know who the chair of the weather committee is, but I want to know.
Oh, my gosh. Well, as I said in the last segment, this is the day for brides to pick to get married because it seems like it will not rain. And at least for 17 years, that would have been the case.
And by the way, Harry, as you said, too, congratulations to the ownership here. The place has never looked better.
Wait till you see the course when you're out there. Oh, my gosh. I'm hearing amazing things about it. So you have a wonderful breakfast coming up, the shotgun start at 9 o'clock, a great round of golf, a beautiful lunch thereafter, and you make our special event even more special with your presence.
Well, it's great to be here, Harry. Thank you so very, very much. And is Joe Girallo coming on?
Joe Girallo, we're going to see if he can. Are you okay into the 8 o'clock hour a little bit? Okay, but I have Mark Giantonio in the first segment. Then I wanted to get with Joe right after that.
Great.
And, of course, talk about a lot of things, including blueberries.
Those blueberries.
No question about it.
Thank you, Harry.
Joe was probably, we still have about 5 minutes if you want to stay with me. Joe was probably within earshot when they took out an Atlantic City councilman in handcuffs. You know, I have to say, Governor, you never know what's going to happen in Atlantic City.
No, you don't. But too often what's been happening lately is a travesty. It's a disgrace. It's unacceptable, and it's terribly sad for the community. We need competent leadership, particularly in our major urban centers. And I'm not going to be shy as governor about what it is that we need to revitalize this state. We need our 7 major urban centers to be led by competent leadership, and that includes Atlantic City.
Well, Atlantic City is the world's playground.
It's the world's playground.
As Atlantic City goes, so goes the state of New Jersey. Atlantic City cannot just be about casino revenue going to the state. Atlantic City has to be put back in tip-top shape, being a mature destination resort that people feel safe to come to, want to come to, and Atlantic City always has another comeback in her.
It does.
But this conduct right now, at the mayor level, at the superintendent level, now you have a councilman who's fighting for his life because there's a belief he doesn't even live in the city, that he lives in Egg Harbor Township, which you know where that is. It's my hometown now. And then he gets himself arrested for alleged, and he's charged with it, witness tampering and threatening a witness. This is it's an abomination.
I've said this from the very beginning, Harry. As you know, I feel very strongly about this. He and his wife, because of her role in the community as the superintendent of schools, need to take a leave of absence until all these charges come to an end.
But you know what they do? They do the exact opposite. They get in your face. They're just flaunting, like, look at me. Nothing applies to me. They have another best friend who's the principal of the school. When you are suspended, which she is, and the superintendent should be, and she is not, when you're suspended, you're not permitted in the public schools.
Yeah.
The suspended principal was in a public school. I don't care what the occasion is. Yeah. You're not allowed.
Harry, you and I came from an era where there was shame. People had shame.
Yeah.
These people have no shame. And they're arrogant about their power. But getting back to what you were saying about Atlantic City, I want it to truly be a destination another way, too. Our cities thrive when people want to live there, not just visit there. And so my job is to make sure our major urban centers offer compelling housing opportunities. They offer safe communities, good schools, great recreational opportunities. Atlantic City is got it all. We just need the right kind of leadership at the local and state level to make that happen. I believe we already have it at the county level, and there'll be a robust partnership to make sure the Atlantic City thrives again.
Governor, they always say that everybody has a plan until Mike Tyson punches you in the face. Do you have a plan to attack the 18 holes here at the Linwood Country Club?
I do, and that's to let the guy in my foursome, Jordan Petrill, who's a scratch golfer, we'll let him go first.
See, you're a very smart man. You came well prepared.
Well, we know Don Purdy's not going to get it done on the golf course, but we are going to laugh a whole lot.
Hey, let's wish Don a birthday. You know, it's a funny story. You have Don Purdy and Harry Hurley, and you have Harry Hurley and Don Hurley. So we're the brothers, Don and Harry.
What's the birthday?
Well, Don and I, our birthday was yesterday.
Oh, wow. Belated happy birthday.
Now, isn't Don Purdy's birthday today? So we're a day apart. There's these coincidences. It's like Lincoln and Kennedy.
I love
only
it.
Nobody gets assassinated. Please. Please. That's the only thing.
So you're telling me that once every 7 years, this golf outing falls on your birthday?
Next year it does.
I'm loving that.
Okay.
I'm loving that.
Closing comment.
Hey, it's great to be with you. Congratulations on the 17th year of the Harry Hurley charity outing, which benefits the community greatly. Thank you for all that you do.
Jack Chittarelli, good wishes today. May the golf gods be kind to you.
Looking forward to that hole-in-one, baby. I'm going home with that e-cart.
It's next level great. Mark can come on over right after the break. We're going to go away for a few minutes right after the break. Mark Giantonio, the president and the chief executive officer, and he's a great one, but he's even a greater person. He's a greater man than he is leader, but he's a great leader on top of that. We have a lot to talk about because nobody loves Atlantic City more than Mark Giantonio. Mark Giantonio has been a part of the Atlantic City casino gaming experience, if you will. Some call it an experiment, but when something's nearing 50 years old, I think it surpasses experimentation phase and into the maturity aspect. Right after the break, we'll talk Atlantic City.
From Harry Hurley Way in the world's playground to the broadcast pioneers of Philadelphia Hall of Fame, you're about to find out why Harry Hurley has been named to the Talkers Magazine list of the 100 most important talk show hosts in the nation. Live from the studios of Town Square Media in Northfield, it's Hurley in the Morning on WPG Talk Radio 95.5 and the WPG Talk Radio app.
Thank you very much. It's 6 minutes past the hour. It's Hurley in the Morning, live from the Linwood Country Club. The scene, it's becoming a spectacle because it's filling in nicely, and this will be a very robust hour when all of our 124 golfers will arrive for breakfast and registration. Great to see you guys. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for making it all happen, because every single person that we meet and we greet is part of the reason why this event today will be raising tens of thousands of dollars. We'll let everybody know when we finish up. But there are a lot of things. We have whole sponsors. We have other contributors. We have the golf players themselves and their contribution and some other revenue sources that will happen throughout the day. So it's going to be a big day. Tens of thousands of dollars will be raised, and we'll be able to write grants to very important not-for-profit organizations that really need the funding. It is the lifeblood of their existence and their ability to continue to do the great work that they do. So look at us as a pass-through. We raise the money, we write the grants, and we write the grants to wonderful organizations that do important work that we must help make it continue. The weather is going to be beautiful. It will be 78 degrees at start time at 9 o'clock, a whisper of wind out of the southwest, about 5 miles an hour. I mean, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. And joining us for the next 15 or 20 minutes, however long he wants to stay, is Mark Giantonio. He is an official high-ranking member of Tom Cantone's Friends for Life. And you know, Mark, it's a special club.
It is.
Rare membership privilege. This is a special club with membership required to play, unless you're lucky enough to be in the Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open or be a guest of a member. Mark, everyone listening knows you're the president and the chief executive officer of Resorts Casino Hotel in Atlantic City, where it all began when the Mary Carter Paint Company was the parent company. I know that from my orientation. You would have passed that test. And here we are. Decades, 4.5+ decades into casino gaming in Atlantic City. And Resorts is the only game in town that can say they've been there for every second of it.
Well, that's true, Harry. And let me start off by saying happy belated birthday, my friend.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed your day yesterday. We were thinking of you.
Two visits here, a big part of my birthday, but it was great.
You put a lot of work in to make things happen. So, it's pretty just amazing the fact that Resorts has been around 46 years. We just celebrated our 46th birthday, and it is as vibrant and live and exciting as it was on day one.
The town, in terms of 4.5+ decades, I always say this, Atlantic City always has a comeback in her. This is a era, E-R-A, not error, an era that is challenging, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, clearly the economy in the nation is a bit difficult right now. People are struggling with high inflation and high interest rates. But at the end of the day, Atlantic City is an escape mechanism for people to come and vacation and enjoy their free time. And I can only tell you this, we are poised to have one of the most exciting summers, not only at Resorts, but I think all the casinos are doing a really good job to promote Atlantic City. And I think we're going to have a great summer.
I'm really happy you said that, because you're an intellectually honest player, so you wouldn't make things up. It has to be great. Now, we're very fortunate. It used to be, and you know this from when we were younger children, where after Labor Day, I mean, that's why Miss America was started. It was like, hey, let's start something. We'll have this beach, bathing suit competition, not even a scholarship pageant or scholarship. They don't even call it a pageant anymore. Scholarship competition. This was, how can we extend even one more week? We'll put boards down on the beach, and then they won't bring the sand into the grand hotels. So you really had to make it in only the summer months to be able to survive during the off season. Atlantic City now is a mature 12-month destination resort, correct?
That is absolutely the truth. And look, your wife knows it because she's a big part of that. Driving convention and meeting business during the shoulder seasons and the winter months are vital to the success of the properties in Atlantic City.
Under your leadership, Mark, at Resorts Casino Hotel in Atlantic City, you were a big believer in upping the game in your convention and meeting space.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, most of the casinos have done a very good job building out meeting space. We certainly have done that at Resorts. I know when I was at Tropicana, we built the whole quarter with the premise of building meetings and conventions. And so that's who we are. We're a convention destination as well as a tourist destination.
In terms of where we are, where we were, and where we're going, riff on that. Talk about all of that.
Well, first of all, it was very exciting. I was excited to hear Jack's commentary. I thought, he's a spectacular man, and I think it's going to be a very interesting election. I think, our best days are literally ahead of us.
Good.
People realize that we have such tremendous assets, the beautiful beach and boardwalk, and clearly there's been some opportunities missed over the years. I mean, I think that's probably an understatement. But at the same time, we really we're poised, I think, now to, as we transition with this election, I think we're really poised to make some strides, and I think there's some great people working to have that happen. I know the casinos are working very hard and participating in a lot of conversations to see that we can grow the market, 20, 30, 40%.
One of the things I remember long ago, there was not a focus during my 12 years in the business, in the Atlantic City casino hotel business. In fact, if you talked about non-gaming revenue, it was almost a joke. Atlantic City now understands that the gaming revenue is integral, the online business integral, bricks and mortar, and all of that. Still having people come and stay at your property. Of course, the dining experience, entertainment, which you strategically you do very, very well. But Vegas, for example, they now earn more non-gaming than they do gaming.
Yeah, I mean,
now that's not Atlantic City.
No, not nearly Atlantic City, but
it's more than it was.
It's growing, and I will tell you, the bulk of our investment at Resort since I've been there is really to promote non-gaming. When you think about it, we built out the Margaritaville and Landshark assets, that entertainment center. Everything we've done, the meeting space, the convention space, our bars, really have been geared at cash-paying, non-gaming amenities, knowing that when you bring more non-gaming in, your gaming's going to grow as well.
You mentioned it, but I want to underscore it. How important is summer 2024 for Atlantic City?
Well, I think for all of us casinos, and I'll speak for the industry, it's vital. I mean, it's been a very difficult 18 months or so. The earnings in the market have been down, rising inflation and so forth, and revenues have been stagnant. I think what I'm seeing over the last few weekends have been pretty strong performance, and I think hopefully we have more police on the boardwalk. I think it's a noticeable improvement by the chief and the folks working on that. I just think it's going to be a really good summer. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people.
Just like our event, and I sweat it this year. I've been very fortunate, didn't have to sweat it because it was never in the forecast at all. You can't control the weather. You are great, and you're I know you're the dean of Atlantic City Casino Presidents. I believe you're the best, but you're also the dean, and you know this business from its very inception through the past 46 years. Talk about the weather and the role that plays, because if you get the weather on top of everything else, it's unstoppable.
Well, the only person that I know that can control the weather is you. I'm looking at him.
Thank you.
So if you have anything to do with it...
Guilty. I'm wishing you great weather.
All right, well, that's... Because I think it's in the bag.
If you could order great Fridays through Sunday and on holidays even extend it, I mean, that's incredible what that means, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the weather's been great. We've had a really rough spring, but the weather of late has been wonderful and just fantastic. So we will take nice weather all the time. I mean, the beaches are packed, and it's just, we're a seashore community, so we don't want rain and wind and all of that nonsense.
Mark Giantonio, the president of Resorts Casino Hotel in Atlantic City, is our guest at 16 minutes past the hour. You're starting to hear noise in the background. There are dozens of people out on the patio underneath the tent, and many of our golfers, of course. This hour is when everyone arrives basically at the same time. It's our registration and breakfast hour, and we'll have 124 golfers that will be playing today, 31 foursomes, no second foursome on any of the par threes, so that's 5 par threes, and then we have 2 foursomes on all of the par fours and par fives. Mark Antonio, I know a lot of our listeners know this. You've been the president of the Casino Association of New Jersey. Talk about that organization and your role there.
Well, it's been an interesting couple of years. I can tell you that the casinos work very closely together on a number of issues. The most recent issue is the potential tax increase on internet gaming. Senator McKeon's potential bill.
16.
And so we really have been working collectively together to educate the legislature on why some of these things are really bad ideas. I think Atlantic City got it right when it established the tax rates. It allows for more money to go into the properties.
Yeah.
The whole purpose of Atlantic City And the reason why the casinos got into trouble over the years was there was a lack of capital put back into the properties. That can't happen again. If that ever happens again, we're going to have the same problem. So a lower tax rate allows for capital investment to be put back into the properties and continue to make them vibrant.
You're basically the lobbying organization for your own industry, correct?
Well, someone has to fight for us, right?
Yeah.
And, there's a big misconception about gambling in general, and we try to get out there to educate people. It's all about the jobs. We generate and create tens of thousands of jobs, both direct and indirect. And the gambling industry is not all about gambling. It's about non-gaming, entertainment, restaurants, chefs, you name it. There's so many employees involved with this business that it's crucial that we get it right. And New Jersey has gotten it right.
I was always and I'm as you know, a dinosaur, but in my day, if you will, I was always a big fan of labor peace. I felt that if we had labor peace and as, effective and working collegial partnership as we could with the different collective bargaining units, obviously it was better for all, and including the customer experience, because if there's unrest, it permeates to the customer. They hear rumblings, and as we know, our customers get very close with employees. Yep. And so if the employees aren't our biggest cheerleaders, that becomes a problem. How would you rate? I have my own thoughts on this, but you're the best at it and a leader in your space. How would you rate the labor peace, if you will, at the moment?
Well, I think we have certainly labor peace here. I think the last couple of years have been integral in ensuring that we're taking care of our employees. And at resorts, you know what that means, Harry. Yeah. We are a family-run business owned by Morris Bailey. We are a family-run business, and each of our team members know they're part of the family. I can't explain it. I've worked at many different properties, but what occurs at resorts is really quite special, and we make sure we take care of them, and they're part of our family. And
the proof is in the pudding. At Resorts Casino Hotel, you have many employees. Their tenure is measured in decades.
Yeah, I mean, we have employees that have been there 45, 46 years, so it's really amazing. They started when they were 10. We just had a cocktail server retire, and she was there day one. I mean, and just as vibrant as she was day one.
Out of the total allotment, do you know how many day one employees you have?
Yeah, it's nearly 24.
That's incredible when you think about it. Yeah. Because 46 years on top of the years that you were that old when you started. Yeah. I mean, this is amazing, actually.
I mean, I was there in 1982, and our order taker and room service is still there. So it's just amazing where I started.
In terms of, and we'll close with this, state of the industry, how would you describe the state of the Atlantic City hotel casino industry?
I would say that it's stable. I think we have to get ourselves into a growth mode, and that's going to require a lot of assistance between local and state officials, ensuring that we have a safe and clean environment. We are developing the city the way it should be. We all know that there's vacant lots that in any other seashore town would be purchased and developed. So I think working with the state and the local officials, I think, we have a great opportunity to turn this business into a growth industry, which we really haven't been in recent years, at least at the brick and mortar. And for that, I'm very optimistic.
Quick closing comment or follow-up. Is this a fair statement? The next several years regarding the Atlantic City casino industry are critical.
Absolutely. You know what's coming. New York is coming, and other threats are coming, and we have to put our best foot forward. I know at resorts we do that each and every day. I'm proud of working with my colleagues at the other properties. I know they do that as well. And, I think it's going to be vital that we put our best foot forward as a seashore town. And listening to Jack, I think he might have a plan to help us do that.
Yeah, he is serious. Absolutely. He knows what needs to be done. He comes from business mentality, which is very encouraging. Mark Giantonio, great to be with you.
Thank you, Harry.
Have a great round.
Thanks, bud.
You have a nice foursome. Say hello to everybody for me. Hey, Joe, come on over. I want to thank you for this beautiful blessing that's here. June, come on over. Then if Senator Testa will stay with us, I'd love to visit with Senator Testa right after the bottom of the hour break. Joe, this is, I don't want to call it this because that puts pressure on, but this feels like the same time next year date that we have. And I know it's always the timing. It's the timing of, when they ripen and they're ready. But I've taken a look at these wonderful crates of blueberries, and they look like magnificent specimens, my friend.
Well, they are, Harry. They are. And as you know, we're coming from the blueberry capital of the world, how important blueberries have been to me my whole life. And I love to make sure that when it's blueberry season, we get around and let people taste the fruits of Hamilton and taste the great fruits of this county.
Hamilton has many things that they're known for and that they're great for blueberries. Hamilton is the blueberry capital of the world, right?
Yes, it is. When I was at the farm this morning, there were 2 tractor trailers leaving for Canada with Hamilton berries on them. Our berries go far and wide. In fact, some of our berries are flown to Europe. So something we're very, very proud of. And today I'm taking some time and bring blueberries around Atlantic County.
Well, we appreciate it. They're going to be turned into blueberry pies. They're going to be given to all kinds of nice people. A lot of people will enjoy this, Joe.
Thank you,
I
Harry.
promise
Good
you that.
to see you.
You want to give us a quick, I'll get June in a second. You want to give us a quick comment on your business?
We finally certified the election the other day. We are certified, putting the final touches on it. And believe it or not, there's going to be about a 3-week break before we begin the election season for the fall. So we're getting everything together with that, getting everything in place, and we want to meet it with the same vigor that we met the June primary. We're going to make some changes in the office. We'll move some people around because I know that turnout and vote by mail and everything will be up for this election.
Was the Andy Kim litigation that resulted in a very peculiar Democrat ballot, but not on the Republican side, was that a one-off, or does that continue on the general election ballot? Or is that not clear?
That's not clear at this point.
So stupid.
Not clear at this point.
I think the judge has been a disgrace. I mean, if you're going to make a decision like that,
he wasn't clear.
You announce, like Bush v. Gore, the Supreme Court said this is a one-time decision. It's not a precedent. This is not something that goes forward. It is a one-time decision that we're making. He should have said that or said the other.
And the other problem.
So you don't know.
No.
And you have dates where ballots will have to be made again.
Absolutely. We will be absolutely our back to the wall. We have to commence by September 21st. Okay? And it's already.
Is anybody going to the court asking for instruction?
We will be waiting to see that. In my heart, I hope that the rows get left for November. But I will tell you, circling back, Harry, I don't know how the judge could say that it was unconstitutional to have lines for Democrats, but it was constitutional to have them for Republicans.
Right,
in
it can't
primary.
be.
You can't have it both ways.
Right.
He
made a decision that is so riddled and reversible.
Absolutely. So we will see what happens. I mean, and then the Republicans up North Jersey tried to overturn it, that we would have it on both sides, and that didn't happen, so on and so forth. So
good to visit with you, Joe.
Always
Thanks
appreciate
for your leadership.
it. And we'll come in and talk soon.
Atlantic County
Harry.
Commissioner June Burns, come on over. I feel like Bob Barker. Come on down. You're the next contestant on Hurley in the Morning. Hello, Matt. Good to see you, my friend. You have good company there in Senator Testa. Senator Testa is going to join us right after the break. Atlantic County Commissioner June Burns, who transitioned as well as you can from Linwood Council to the county commissioner role. Hey, Mayor. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you, Tom. That's a mighty handsome golf bag you have in your hand there. They are nice. Margie Hurley, thank you for that idea. You saw the golf bags, right?
Yeah, they're beautiful.
So how's it going, Commissioner?
It's going great. It's not easy, but very rewarding if you're in it for the right reasons,
Correct.
and I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a great event you have here.
Thank you.
See so many friends. Matt Levinson, who I served on city council in Linwood with and became a great friend, Senator Testa. And this is my second year doing the Blueberry Run with County Clerk Joe Girallo. And this is the fun part about the job.
Oh, it's nice. And boy, this is a nice batch. So excited.
There's more on the floor over there.
Oh, I saw them. I pushed them under a little bit. I saw them. Yeah, we've got some nice, they're going to make some blueberry pies, and we give them to a lot of nice people. We share them.
Very nice.
So it's great to spread the wealth the way that you do. And it's a beautiful product. And it's emblematic of how incredible and how incredibly diverse Atlantic County is.
100%. Right. And how fun is that? Joe's bringing the western part down to the east.
Correct. Love it.
Down to the shore.
Blueberry capital of the world.
Yes.
Represented in the House. Yes. How goes the Atlantic County Board of Commissioners?
Everything's going great. Like I said, it's not easy work, but it's very rewarding. Something that I'd like to talk to you about maybe when we move a little further on the project, come back and talk to you about in 2 years. We have America's semi-quincentennial coming up. And I'm hoping that not just every county in New Jersey, but Atlantic County, which I believe, because we've started to talk about it, capitalizes on all the parades, the festivals, everything that we can capitalize and bring people down here. It's huge.
Well, it's a big occasion. I mean, that's a lot. Hi there. It's a lot, and it's good to recognize it in a dignified and appropriate way.
Educate our children, get the schools involved, get municipalities involved,
and
get our community centers involved.
And you know why that's big, June? Because for some reason, education seems to be going in a different direction, which leaves our history in the dust.
Right.
And it seems to be on purpose.
Right.
Down to 30 seconds.
Right. Just saw Mike Ruffey walk in.
Yes.
Out campaigning with him.
He's going to do well.
He's a great guy. When he decided to run, he gave me a phone call, and I was over the moon excited to be able to work with him. He's also in it for the right reason.
We predicted, you might remember, that you would be successful. We also predicted that you would be an outstanding commissioner. Thanks for making us correct. We like to be right on both reasons.
Thank you very much.
Good to be with you.
Have a great day.
Thanks. Senator Testa is going to join our coverage next, live from the Linwood Country Club, Hurley in the morning. Back in a moment.
This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
A Pleasantville man has died after being hit while walking on the Black Horse Pike just past midnight Wednesday in Carver Township. Leon Barrett, 78, was walking in eastbound lanes near Oak Tree Drive when he was run into. Now, the driver, Nathaniel Lally, 76, of Wilmington, Delaware, and a passenger had to be taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The Pike had to be closed for about 3 hours for the accident investigation. Tickets go on sale in the bid 9 o'clock this morning for a special viewing area for the Night in Venice Boat Parade in Ocean City and to see a Jimmy Puppet tribute band the night before. The July 19th concert by the Land Sharks will begin 7:30 p.m. at the Music Pier. This year's Night in Venice theme is Summertime Vibes, a tribute to Jimmy Buffett. In the WPG Talk Radio 95.5 newsroom, I'm Bill Kagan.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zarrow. Happy first day of summer. Temperatures still running about 10 degrees above normal as we sweat through another heat wave day. 90s inland, closer to 80 at the coast. Partly sunny and completely dry today. Tonight, mainly clear, low of 68. We'll do it again tomorrow. Mostly sunny and hot, inland high 91. Saturday, hazy, hot and humid. Partial sunshine, maybe a pop-up thunderstorm, high of 90. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today. Here is an important safety.
You're waking up with Hurley in the morning on South Jersey's talk station, WPG Talk Radio 95.5. Starting your day the right way with Hurley in the morning.
We need to just listen to the facts.
WPG Talk Radio 95.5.
It is 36 minutes past the hour, and I appreciate the opportunity to interview my longtime friend, Senator Michael Testa, and I know he still has to have time to eat and get out in his cart by 9 o'clock. So you'll stay until you just say, I got to go. 5 minutes or whatever time you can give us. But, Senator, obviously it's budget time. We're fortunate you were even able to be here. It looked like there would be a conflict that you would not even be able to play.
That's correct. We were supposed to potentially have a Senate budget appropriation meeting, but in typical Democrat fashion, the majority party, we have a $56+ billion budget, and we still don't even have it in hand. And by our Constitution, by 12 p.m. July 1st, we have to have a budget in the state.
But as you know, though, they are capable, and in Kirk Conover's era they did it, and they've done it before. They can freeze the clock at 11:59:59.
They can.
They shouldn't be able to.
The chicanery and the trickery that can take place under the Gold Dome it seems to be never-ending. And, you had Joe Girallo on earlier, and he brought you these gorgeous blueberries. I have to say, I'm so proud of South Jersey.
Yes.
And I always tell people, like, when you go out to your car and you take a look at your license plate, it says the Garden State. And we have to do everything we can to keep the Garden State the Garden State. And those blueberries from Hamilton, the blueberry capital of the world for sure. I talked to you offline about a bill that the Democrats have put forth, another radical leftist bill that will kill the Garden State. And I say that we need to keep the Garden State the Garden State. It's a heat index bill that presupposes that farmers, people who harvest livestock, are bad actors and that they want to harm their employees. Well, we heard from Joe Girallo when he was on, our county clerk here in Atlantic County, that, you have to harvest blueberries when they're ripe, obviously, just like any other produce. And it needs to be done. Here the Democrats are saying, no, you can't do that because it's too hot. You're going to have to bring people in. They're not going to be able to actually harvest blueberries, tomatoes, corn, your livestock.
Chairman, happy birthday. We did wish you a happy birthday a little while ago. Don Purdy. Hey, Gary. Thank you, Don.
And this is just more of the insanity coming from the radical leftists that will do what? It'll crush our farms. They will go out of business. I can tell you I got hundreds of calls and emails combined.
Do you have an answer to I think it's just an elusive question. I know it's a difference in philosophy of governance, but I remember the ship tax on the boats, and I said, well, that's a really bad idea because the employees are going to lose their jobs. People like John Kerry, he didn't buy the Scaramouche in Massachusetts. He went to a state like Florida, somewhere where there wasn't the tax that there would be. So I said, this is a really bad idea. They can use it in the budget and say, we anticipate this much revenue, and then you get out alive and you get, I hate anticipated revenue, especially when it's blatantly dishonest and it's not going to happen. And they crushed the shipbuilding industry in New Jersey, and exactly what we said would happen. They hurt the employees. So they always come up with ideas that either crush the employee, crush the employer, and when I guess they're really in their nirvana, they do both.
Well, certainly, if you're going to crush the employees, guess what happens? The employer has to make cuts. I'm a huge fan of Milton Friedman. The radical left presupposes that the captains of industry, the employers, are evil people, that they're out to exploit their employers. To the contrary, when I've spoken to so many of these farmers, and anybody in industry, I'm co-chair of the manufacturing caucus, they really care about their employees because guess what? They need their employees to be happy and productive in order to increase their bottom line. Capitalism is a good thing. And again, the people on the radical left truly believe that our system of government is exploitive of all of the people that are hardworking, that people who are the captains of industry are evil people, big corporations are evil. But, I love that meme that we see on Facebook sometimes, Harry, when it's a young person with multicolored hair holding a Starbucks and an iPhone talking about how evil big corporations are. And yet they're the ones who are, obviously consuming the most from large corporations, while they're holding their brand new iPhone and, their caramel latte from Starbucks. So, it's unfortunate, but look, we need to keep the Garden State the Garden State. This budget is out of control, $56+ billion. People like Senator Oroho, who's now retired, our budget officer, Senator Declan O'Scanlan, myself, we've been warning about this fiscal cliff that we were going to be arriving at in the state of New Jersey, and that, Governor Murphy, who, I've been pretty harshly critical of at times, but who has been good at other times, like he has been in North Wildwood. I call balls and strikes as I see them.
It's fair.
But, we've warned the governor that we're heading for this fiscal cliff. He played Santa Claus in election years, and now the chickens are coming home to roost, and we have a real problem here with the state budget.
We are getting very close to the 9 o'clock shotgun start. We're at 8:42. You need time to eat.
I do, and I wanted to wish you and your brother a happy birthday. I know you celebrated that very recently.
Yes.
I know he's a few hours a few minutes older than you?
I am 2 minutes older than
You're 2 minutes
Don.
older than him. Okay.
Yes.
So, and I do want to give a shout out to Don. I know, he and his wife are dealing with some things, and our hopes and prayers certainly go out to them. What a great family. And Don P is missed today. I was looking for him and his camera today, and I would be remiss if I didn't give him a proper shout out and all the best to him and his lovely bride. Yeah, he sent his regards just a little while ago because he knew that you were coming on, Senator, and he never misses. But Debbie is having a medical procedure, and they're at a hospital, and that's the only reason they're not here. And I have to tell you, in the true luck of the Irish, Harry, you've never had bad weather, and I'm going to knock on wood so that we keep this great weather that we have here today. I know it's supposed to be hot, but it's a whole lot better than rain for sure. So just remember, when your children are getting married, you pick the date, because in case we move it, you pick the date of our charity open, and you will have glorious weather. That's my absolutely gift. Correct. That's my gift to you. Well, thank you so much, Senator. Good to see you. The eternal mayor of the morning. Thank you. Hey, Ken, you got a minute? This is going to work out perfect. Senator, have a great round. Thank you for your support of Senator, all of our charitable efforts. You've always been there for us. This is a very special part of the broadcast, and I did not want to let it slip away, so I yelled down to grab Ken. Ken, come on over. This is something you've done many, many times. You know how to put a headset on. Ken and I go back a long, long time. To Ken's career as a great head coach, his career in athletics in general, and Ken is a legend in our community. And this is very special because what we're doing in perpetuity, not only are we going to have the Frank Campo Memorial longest drive competition, and that's taking place today. I believe it's on the 10th hole, but 9th hole. Let me take that back. The 9th hole. The 10th hole is the closest to the pin. So the 9th hole today, sponsored by Michael Merlino, is a $250 cash prize, and it's always going to be called the Frank Campo Memorial Longest Drive Competition. Right after Frank's unexpected passing, we had been talking about Frank in the tournament. He's been at all 16 before the 17th, and we certainly expected Frank to be here for the 17th annual Hurley in the Morning Golf Open. After Frank's untimely, totally unexpected passing, I reached out to Kenny Williams, and I said, Ken, with your permission, I want to have the Frank Campo Memorial foursome, but with his guys. And you, Ken, and your teammates, you are the dear friends that always golf together.
Yeah, Harry Ackerman is with me today. Harry and Frank and I and the rest are no longer with us. We've been playing twice a week for probably 30 years or more.
Whew. Incredible. Yeah. So your foursome that's here today, you are playing under the banner, and Frank is looking down at all of us right now and saying, stop it, because he never liked any attention. It's the one thing about Frank. He did so much, and he never wanted anybody to ever brag about him or anything, which always made me want to brag about him even more. So I really love the fact that we're doing the Frank Campo Memorial Foursome and the longest drive competition.
All right, we haven't played since last year, and I talked to Frank the Monday before he went in the hospital, and the last thing he said to me was, I'll be here for 4 days, be home, and we'll be back playing in 10 days to 2 weeks. And unfortunately, that did not happen, and Harry and I were very, very happy that we got the opportunity to visit with him on the Monday before he passed.
Isn't it hard to believe? I haven't processed it, Ken. I haven't, I can't accept, our world without Frank in it, and especially at 77.
Yeah, I mean, he was just, he was the fun of our golf group. He really was.
He people didn't know Frank. Frank loved life, and maybe the only thing he loved more than his life was his family. He was all about family, his children, grandchildren, Karen. I talked to Karen just the other night, and we talked about the fact that we were doing I sent her a copy of the sign. You'll see it when you go out there, of the Frank Campo longest drive competition. And I'm happy, Ken, that you're playing. You've played a number of years in our event.
Yes, I think there were a couple of years that I was away or that I couldn't, but I started with
Jay,
Frank, and myself, and
was it Matt, his son-in-law?
Matt, yes, yeah. We played for a few years, and I think it was at Mays Landing when we started.
Would you say out of 17 tournaments, you've played in about 10?
At least 10, yes.
Yeah, maybe more.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Ken.
Well, I appreciate it, Harry. And
anything about Frank you want to say before we go?
Nothing, but we really miss him. It's just not the same. I mean, like I said, we went out last week and played 9 holes, and we had not played as a group. And this is the first time that we have played, and playing without him will be really much different. And we miss him, and we miss him dearly. And he was just a wonderful, wonderful individual.
Yep, and we're going to keep his memory alive with things such as today.
Thank you, and thank you for having us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Honor to have you. Thank you. Ken Williams. Right. Ken Williams has a great foursome, and they are set and ready to go. I'm going to connect now with my program director, Chris Coleman. And Josh, I'm going to take this on the road. We're already on the road. Let's see here. Just take me a second, Chris. I'm checking in now.
We're doing live.
That's all right. I'm going to put my windscreen on this. Let me make sure something. And Chris did it. Josh, tell me I'm on. You hear me, Josh?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Gotta go. We'll be talking to some of the golfers and see what the day brings. We'll see if our string is alive. If you hear the bagpipes, there's been a tradition where I've never contacted the Atlantic City Sandpipers Pipes and Drums, and they just have always shown.
Not coming through right now. Back on the mic for a minute.
Okay. Let me know if you can. Let me see what's going on. I thought. So I'm not coming through on the phone?
I don't hear it.
Well, hold on. It seems like I'm connected. Let me see. I did. All right, hold on. Hold on. Give me a second here. For the what? Take one. Yeah, go ahead. This was like a lifesaver. Yeah, absolutely. Joanne, take one. Hold on. I don't know why it didn't go through. Hey, how you doing, my friend? I'm doing like 5 things at one time, but it's great to see you, Charlie. Hold on. Let me try it again. It's not on Chris. It's on me. Okay. Oh, yeah. We're on now, Josh. Turn that mic off so that you can absolutely hear me through the phone. And ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for you hearing this awkward transition. You hear me now, right, Josh? Yeah, you hear me now, correct? I don't know why. I'm definitely, yeah. Hey, Chris? This is going to be an issue. Okay, good. Thank you, Chris Coleman. Thank you, Josh. I'll be back. See what it brings. Mr. Mayor, you have made all 17, correct?
All 17. This is it. And today we're going to win. I'm telling you, Mayor. We got a strategy. We're going to make it happen.
Tell us quickly about the Canes custom cart.
It's a 2024 Evolution, 4 captain's chairs, rear camera, push to start, rear trunk. It's a beautiful cart. Street legal. It's ready to go. And somebody better win it today, Mayor.
That's what I love. You want this to be won.
I want it to be won. Let's make it happen, right, Charlie? Let's make it happen.
Charlie, Charles, Mr. Mayor, and Anne-Marie, your entire team at Canes Custom Carts, thank you. You've sponsored the hole-in-one hole every year.
We appreciate it, Mayor. We appreciate it.
Have a great round. Great to be with you. It's not for a fashion statement. I need to grab my shades. And the listeners of WPG Talk Radio 95.5 need to know that I need my shades. Josh, you were a witness. I have just made a spectacle of myself. See you in a little bit. Those tuning in, we are at Linwood Country Club. It's a beautiful day. It's picture-perfect weather. We have a number of special prizes that the golfers have an opportunity to win while they're out on the course, which we really love. We love to spoil the golfers. Many, as you just heard, Charles Kane, they have come each and every year for 17 years. And I would say out of 124 golfers that we have, I would say that I'll actually try to look into that. A significant number have played in all 17. Then you hear that somebody was away or somebody was sick or somebody was injured, and you wind up someone saying they've played in 15 or 16 out of 17. But you just heard from Mayor Kane, and there's a hole-in-one opportunity. Hey, good to see you, Frank. There's a hole-in-one opportunity on the 6th hole, which is for the beautiful Kane's Custom Cart, sponsored by Charles and Anne-Marie Kane and Kane's Custom Cart. There's no charge. It's part of the price for playing in the event. And the first hole-in-one wins. It is a souped-up, elaborate, comfortable captain chair seating, backup camera, fully street legal. That's the amazing thing about it. It's not a golf cart. It is a fully street legal vehicle. That'll be on the 6th hole. There's a second hole-in-one opportunity on the 16th hole, sponsored by Vaughn and Margie Reel. And on that hole, we're asking the golfers to make a $10 contribution, and then you have a chance. The first one to hit a hole-in-one would win $5,000. What the charity has the opportunity to achieve is probably about in the neighborhood of $1,000. That $1,000 will be written as a grant to Atlantic Cape Community College. So you have an idea, and Noah and Christian that are going to work that hole, and that is the 16th hole. They will actually be telling folks that your contribution, and you think about it, 124 golfers, if everybody ponies up $10, you've got a substantial beyond $1,000 grant that we'll be able to do. And if it's under $1,000, we're gonna top it off. We're gonna add to it, and we'll get it. We found that a $1,000 grant, no matter what the organization, can make such a meaningful difference. So we're happy to do that. And with our golfers participating on that, it's the only thing beyond the entry into the tournament that there's any additional cost for. And it really works out well. Joe, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Doing great. Thank you. Appreciate that. Steve, thank you, Steve. Appreciate you guys. Have a great round. So there you have two hole-in-one opportunities, which we have come close. We have heard people that have been inches away, a foot away, under 2 feet. It's been close. We've never had one. Some tournaments never have one, and many do. There was a mature tournament that had a hole-in-one in their first year, and they never had one in 2 decades since. So you never know, because these golfers are really good, and they can come very, very close. But as people know, there are golfers, Nancy Conover, she's hit a hole-in-one. There are golfers that play their whole lives and never hit a hole-in-one. They come close, but it's a very, very challenging thing to do. In addition to the 2 hole-in-one opportunities, on the 9th hole, we've been talking about the Frank Campo Memorial Longest Drive Competition, which we're really honored about. That's sponsored by Michael Merlino, who's just a great guy. And then on the 10th hole, we have the Joe Pellegrino, and he passed away recently, Memorial Closest to the Pin competition, and that is for a $250 cash prize, as is the Frank Campo Longest Drive competition. So those are some of the things that the golfers are going to get to enjoy. We're getting very, very near start time. I have to say, I left about 5 minutes ago, and there were still quite a number of people out on the patio underneath the beautiful tent, still dining. So people are making their way. Jeff Bonneke is here. He'll introduce me, and then I'll introduce him, and we'll give everybody a bird's eye view, into exactly what's happening today here at the 17th annual Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open. Let me just take a walk around and say hello to some folks. This looks like a very nice foursome here. Mike, say hello to everybody. We are live on the air.
Hi, this is Mike Reynolds with the Atlantic City Convention Center. What a great event. We're happy to be here. Thank you so much, Harry, for hosting.
Was that perfect weather day ordered or what?
You couldn't have done any better. The good Lord was looking down on us.
I'm glad you're here, Mike.
Thank you, Harry.
Good to see you guys. Have fun. Have a great round. Good to see you. Pleasure. And we'll be getting ready to start things. We always start right around 9 o'clock. It's right now about 58 minutes past the hour. Michael Heath, you want to say a quick word? Why don't you do a quick little blessing?
Bro, this is just an amazing event, Lord, and we just thank you that you just keep the weather just a beautiful day, Lord God, today. Just keep a hedge of angels around us all, Lord. And Father God, we just want to get closer to you today, Lord. So just help us. We thank you for Harry and what he does out here with his family, Lord, and the Linwood Country Club, Lord. And we're just going to give you all the glory today in Jesus' name. Amen.
Mike, the hero, Heath.
Thank you, brother.
Have a great round. You're looking well. You're going to have a good time. Hey, Scotty. Good to see you, man. You talked to Don? Good. Glad to hear it. Yeah, man. Yeah. Beautiful day. Michael Merlino, we are live on the air, and I've been thanking you throughout the morning on multiple occasions to thank you for the foursome that you sponsor, to thank you for the longest drive competition that you're sponsoring today, and you've been doing it for a number of years, and also the closest to the pin competition that you're sponsoring. Michael Merlino, Atlantic Accounting Associates, you've been with us from the beginning, and we just want to say thank you for your support.
Harry, I couldn't be more proud to do this. I also want to thank you on behalf of the Bernie Friedenberg World War II Monument and all you did to support that. That's why it's easy to support this event, because of what you do to give back.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks for all you do.
God bless, brother.
Thanks. Thanks for being here. 31 foursomes making their way to their carts. Oh, thank you so much. Jim, you want to say hello? We are live.
Good morning.
Jim McLean, General Sales Manager and overall great man, General Sales Manager, Director of Sales, Town Square Media, South Jersey. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. I love the event. I look forward to this every year. We have a fantastic time, raise a lot of money. You're the best. I mean, you do this for it gets bigger and bigger every year for sure.
Thank you, Jim.
Where is our president? Our president is right there getting his bag on the cart. He's getting ready to go.
I'm going to, he's not afraid to go on air because that wouldn't be fair to say, but it's not like the number one thing he wants to do. But I definitely want to thank Michael in person. We gave an on-air shout-out to the team. Mr. President, we are live. I'm mobilizing, and it is my pleasure to introduce to our live coverage moments before tee-off time. The shotgun start is about to begin. The president of Town Square Media, South Jersey, my boss, Michael Rubel.
Thank you, Harry. It's a wonderful day. Wonderful day. Don't forget, you left out defending champion. Or defending champions.
I did leave that out, but not on purpose. Sin of the mind, not of the heart. Defending 2003 Hurley the Morning Charity Golf Open champions. Now that you did that, are you feeling any pressure to repeat, to defend?
I always feel the pressure of the world, but we're up for it. We're up for it, buddy. We got Joe Viviani here from Boardwalk Condi. He's going to crush it off the tees. He's going to crush it.
This is a secret weapon right here. Joe, I know what you did last year.
Yeah, we did pretty good last year. We did.
We certainly did. I understand through Jeff Bonneke, who never lies, the course is in amazing condition.
Yeah, Linwood always is.
They
do a great job. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, it's in great condition.
Have a great round.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mr. President, thank you,
Harry. Thank you.
Thank you for your support of everything that we do, and thank you for your leadership.
Oh, you too, bud. And happy belated. Hey, next year, right? This is going to be your day next year? I love it. All right.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is true. The 18th annual Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open, which is already confirmed for Linwood Golf and Country Club, is on the occasion of Don Hurley's birthday. It is true. Let's see what it's going to bring. Hey, it's good to see you. All the best to you. Have fun today. Kirk, I love the hat. Say a quick word before I have to go to Jeff.
Wonderful day. We're going to have a great time. Thank you, Harry, for putting a great tournament together.
Thank you for being here, Kirk. And let the record reflect, you have your sunscreen on. You're very responsible, and I appreciate that. Thank you. That's no joke. That's serious. Are we ready? You think everybody is in their carts?
All right, we vacated the putting green, the breakfast area, and we are about to get underway, so with no further ado, I'm going to let Harry take over and say a few words.
And then I'll turn it right back to you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 17th annual Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open. A round of applause would be nice. Let our listeners on WPG Talk Radio 95.5 hear from you. Thank you for your support. As you well know, because many of you have been doing this with us for the whole 17 years, many of you for most of the years, you know that your participation on the third Thursday in June here at the beautiful Linwood Golf and Country Club, where I believe Jeff Bonneke and his team, they have the course in, you hear about Olympics that brag about these were the greatest Olympics of all time. Everyone is supposed to be one after the other. The course is in amazing condition. That is a credit to the Doherty family, which we thank for the partnership, the ability to be able to come here and have this event at this beautiful private country club is a blessing. It's so important to our charity. It's so important to the grants that we're able to write. And because of your support, today's event, we already know, takes us beyond $1.5 million as a charity. So you can imagine, other than any expenses that we have and we keep them to the bare minimum, everything drives to the bottom line. Nobody gets paid. There's no salaries. It's all about writing grants to the important not-for-profits in our area and beyond. We keep most of it right here in the area, and we do support some of the national efforts that also impact the local level. I want to thank Michael Rubel, the president of Town Square Media South Jersey. He is playing in today's event. He plays every year. I couldn't ask for a better president that supports the charity work that we do at Town Square Media South Jersey and the Hurley in the Morning program and the Hurley in the Morning charity. Chris Coleman, my program director, and our whole team at Town Square Media South Jersey, thank you. There are some special things. Jeff will go over the holes that have special competitions and things that I think you're really going to enjoy. I do want to highlight the passing of two great men that played in our tournament every year. Frank Campo for 16 straight years, Joe Pellegrino for almost all of the past 16 years. And you're going to see out on the course when you get to the longest drive competition, you will see Frank Campo's name. It's a memorial competition now in his name. And when you get to the closest to the pin, a few years ago, Joe Pellegrino won the closest to the pin competition. He was a great golfer and a better man. So that is named after Joe Pellegrino. And my good friend Jeff Bonneke, the director of golf operations here at Linwood Country Club and golf professional for the PGA, a champion in his own right, will take it from here. Jeff, thank you for your partnership. It's been spotless. And did we not order look, I know it's going to get a little warm later, but did we not order up yet another great weather day for the Hurley in the Morning Golf Open? Enjoy your round, and thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, Harry. Yes, we did. So again, welcome. I want to run through a few things on the golf course. First, the format. You're playing a four-person scramble. Men play from the white tees. Ladies will play from the gold tees. And any senior 70 and over can play from the silver. The special events on the golf course, we have a closest to the pin competition on hole number 10 and a long drive on hole number 9, as well as some hole-in-one opportunities, hole 16. We have a wonderful sponsorship from the Reels.
$5,000.
$5K on the line. And then on hole 6, if you haven't seen it, if you went to the putting green, James Cards, they've got a beautiful card opportunity for the first and only hole-in-one that could be made, that is to be yours to take home. At the end of play, please return your scorecards into the pro shop. You may drive out to your car, put your clubs away. If you need them serviced and cleaned, my staff can do that for you. Do be careful driving in and out of the parking lot, but you can do that and return your cards back to the front of the pro shop. Lastly, course care. Our course is in impeccable shape. I ask that the divot patches that you're going to make playing the scramble from the same area, replace the divots, and then on your golf carts you got white bottles of sand and seed mix. Please, please, please take care of the golf course. Around the greens, stay on the cart paths. We don't have cart paths anywhere else other than around the tee boxes and around the greens. And speaking of the greens, hopefully you'll be hitting a numerous amount of greens. Fix your ball marks. Please bend over, get a little exercise. Fix your ball marks. Take care of the divots. Take care of the golf course. And without any further delay, my staff will help lead you out to your starting holes. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. We hope to see you in 4.5 hours. Bogey is your friend. Don't be afraid to put on bogey and move to the next tee box. Enjoy yourself. Thank you all again.
Thank you, Jeff. And thank you to all of our participants. And in moments, the 17th annual Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open will be underway officially. Hey, Jeff, thanks for everything.
You're welcome, Harry. This is fantastic. Thank you for having me, having us. And listen, I can't wait for the end of the day. It's fantastic.
Love the partnership. We'll crown a champion, and then folks will win nice prizes for the longest drive. We hope that people win the hole-in-one competitions. Now, Andy, you're playing, right? You got to get in your car. Andy Kirstein, chairman. Oh, I know. I well know that. I have a little something to do with the tournament here. You have a great foursome. You've got a lot. I know you can play, and Michael is no slouch, and you've got a absolute secret weapon in Joe Viviani. Wait till you behold. It's going to be.
I'm waiting to see it. They tell me it's going to be something special.
A lot of fun, and we're looking forward to our partnership, not only at your event, but on Friday, October 4th at Resorts Casino Hotel, when you will be at our annual charity dinner, where we're going to present a $5,000 grant to Gilda's.
And we are so grateful for that, Harry. You know, you talk about keeping the money local, and you do it better than anybody. So, again, on behalf of all of the members of the cancer support community of New Jersey at Gilda's Club, we want to thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Have fun today. Get out there and just do it. I want to say I don't have a camera. Oh, you want to take a picture? Because I want to say okay, you want the flag in the background?
WPGG Atlantic City, WENJ HD3 Millville, a Town Square media station.
That's going to be fantastic. All right, so we're still live, so it's going to be hard. You tell me when you're going to take it, and then I'll stop talking. Okay. Michelle Reardon, world class. Thank you. Michelle, real quick. I have a $300 grant check in my pocket for the Egg Harbor Township program yes. So just make sure you come by and tell me who to make it out to exactly. So the check is the grant is done. I just wasn't sure. Who do I make it exactly payable to?
Al, and make sure you denote the
observer. Okay. So make sure you see me. Okay. I have it. It's my pleasure. Okay, Michelle. They do great work, and as you know, it's one of those programs that you want to see continue, but they don't always, you don't want to compare anything to anything else, but they just don't seem to get, thank you, Michael, the support that you see with other extra and co-curricular activities. So we love the opportunity to write on behalf of the Hurley in the Morning charity a $300 grant to the Egg Harbor Township Police Athletic League, and we're going to clearly mark on the grant that it is for the EHT High School Observatory Program. And remember, there were some very, very monumental things that were going on that clubs such as this, I mean, it was like their World Series going on. So this is really going to be very exciting. I'm going to disconnect. Chris, thank you as always for your partnership. It was immaculate what you did. We are back in our remote studio. And it's weird. You go from hundreds of people all around to like a ghost town, just like that. But I'll tell you what would be helpful, Josh, if you could for a second, you could trust me. I will not do anything to jeopardize your license. Go tell Margie to invite some guests to come on back and join with us. I'd love to do some long-form interviews now that a lot of the it wasn't pressure. It's never pressure, but obviously the time frame of getting everything going and all that excitement of the moment when everybody is doing the same thing at the same moment and in a shotgun start. They don't literally fire a shotgun, but we call it a shotgun start. Everybody off they went. And then you see, if you think about it, you have 124 golfers, 2 golfers to a cart. So, you divide the math in half. You're talking about, 60-some golf carts going out there. And it's exciting. You see them all go. There's Michael Merlino. You looking for somebody? You okay?
I'm great.
Good. We are too. Don is away. Yeah, with a family situation, dealing with a health issue. Not Don, but a family member. So he is very regretful not being here, Michael. I will, Michael. That's Michael Merlino. Don will be back for sure next year. It just couldn't be helped. The timing of what he and his family members had to attend to directly conflicted. And he'll be back next year. And we introduced briefly Michelle Reardon, who is when I tell you I wasn't kidding. Sometimes people just say words. I say what I mean. She is a world-class photographer, so she is going to be out there in a cart, and she'll be taking pictures of all of our foursomes and some action shots and then some photographs back at lunch. She took a lot of photos during the breakfast, so it's going to be, and it always is, because Don typically does it. We got to talk to Harry Purdy, too. Get him out here. I've seen him on top of a golf cart. I didn't just say that, did I? He is also world-class. So for those that want to know, what does the Hurley in the Morning charity do? It's not just a name. It's an organization, a registered not-for-profit organization that has been established for the past 17-plus years. What I did, we want to help. It's part of Town Square media philosophy, is being a legitimate part of the community. And what I wanted to do was to legitimately, you hear people and they raise money and they're not registered. It's all illegal. We wanted to do a registered charitable organization that would have the wherewithal to, and we've grown it because of the annual dinner that we do. The dinner is 16 years this October 4th. The golf tournament is 17 years. And the idea was raise money and write grants. Get the communication to the different organizations that are out there. And believe me, there are many that need the support. And then you find the need. You do everything you can to meet the need. And then you write the checks. You write the grants. And we are so proud. I mean, if we went through our list, multiple hospitals, all kinds of amazing organizations that do such a great job. By the way, it's a shame. Hold on one second. Let me just double check. Oh, good. Thank you, Chris. Chris is checking in. You go from when you don't have enough time. It's just something we have to manage. You go from when you don't have enough time to get everybody on that A, would like to come on, and B, you'd want to bring on, to all of a sudden they're all gone. And now it's just me and Josh. But I did see like 15 people out there at the desk. Did you run into Margie, or is she busy, Josh?
On the 16th hole.
Oh, I know what she's doing. She's taking Noah and Christian. Now, I have to disclose this. Josh has a meal. It's wrapped in tinfoil. But he has just done such a great job here that he hasn't even taken the opportunity to eat. And Josh, feel free to put the headset on. And what we'll do, let me just check. You know what we're going to do, Josh? But stay with me. Have a seat. Move one chair. It's like a TV show. It's like Johnny Carson. You know when you move over one chair, you do the interview, then you move over one chair?
Right.
You're moving over one chair. We're going to take a brief 2-minute break. Josh and I will do a quick reset because I didn't hear Josh through his headset. But that's not the reason. We're going to take a brief 2-minute break. that Chris Coleman is going to handle. And we'll be right back. We are live at the Linwood Country Club, the 17th annual Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open, presented by Town Square Media, this broadcast, and we're so grateful about that. Town Square Media, South Jersey. Town Square Media, South Jersey, thank you so much. With Josh, I'm Harry. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
You're waking up with Hurley in the Morning.
Makes me think about things a little bit differently.
WPG Talk Radio 95.5.
Thank you very much, Program Director Chris Coleman, who has been an awesome partner, but he always is. You know, he's a busy guy. My father taught me as a very young boy, if you want something done right, you give it to a busy person. So, for example, when I asked Chris, "Hey, Chris, you know, it's okay. We're gonna do this show on the road and try to do all this stuff." And yeah, I know you're the program director and you're the a digital content star and afternoon personality on our fabulous sister station, Cat Country 107.3. And oh, by the way, it's a huge weekend for Cat Country 107.3 with the Barefoot amazing concert series. You talk about, we think we have a juggernaut and a happening here over at the Linwood Country Club, and it is. My gosh, what's going to be happening this weekend in Wildwood is epic. Chris Coleman, you there? I'm going to see if I can grab Chris Coleman, put him on the spot. You text me, Chris, when you're available for a minute. I want to get a comment.
Morning, Harry.
Hey, Chris. Thanks so much. Chris, first of all, and we're going to bring Josh into the broadcast in just a minute. First of all, thanks for being my program director. Thank you for letting me be me. Your support of Hurley in the Morning is something I probably don't say to you enough, how much not only it means to me, but what a difference, maker you are in my life, in our program. And, of course, it's even more when we take it on the road and all these other things that, you have to make happen scheduling-wise and so on. So I want to remember to thank you for your support.
Well, you were too kind, Harry, and please accept my apologies. I failed to mention to you happy birthday yesterday, so happy birthday.
Yes, another one. That's always a blessing. In a minute, honey. Yeah, thanks. We're going to bring Gail on, too, because there's a great event that she's going to promote. Maybe we'll get Gail, then we'll get Josh, because we have nothing but time until 10:06 this morning because of Chris Coleman. Chris, I'm calling it epic. It's going to be a happening. This Wildwood juggernaut, this concert series known as Barefoot, is really, national, beyond national caliber, isn't it?
It certainly is when you think of how well that entire that 4-day concert series runs on the beach there in Wildwood. And I know general admission is sold out, I believe, and VIP is sold out, and there are only a handful of super VIP tickets left. So there's going to be at least 35,000 people on the beach every day in Wildwood for the next 4 days. It's just really well done and a ton of fun to be there. And much like your golf outing, the weather is going to be just spectacular.
So fortunate. I remember last year there was quite a bit of rain, wasn't there?
Yes. Yes, there was. I'll leave it at that.
I don't want to put you on the spot because you weren't even expecting to do this live long-form interview with me, but I think because you've been looking at it and talking about it. Give people an idea of some of the big names that are in Wildwood this weekend.
Everybody is there from Kane Brown to Keith Urban. Luke Bryan's going to take the stage. There's just dozens and dozens and dozens of country music stars on the beach in Wildwood this weekend.
If you are a lover of the country music genre, which my good friend Chris Coleman and Joe Kelly and Jana and their team, they own the country music genre in the New Jersey metro market. And I don't say that to be kind. I say that because it is so. You guys literally own the space as broadcasters. Everybody who truly loves country music that can possibly be there makes it a point to be there, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. And the cool part is you get there early. Like if you get there this afternoon, gates open at like 1 o'clock, I believe. You get there early. You can see some great up and coming stars and some of the smaller stages there. And then you work your way over to the big stage and you see the bigger stars and there's all kinds of things to do in between. So it's just a really fun day and a really fun weekend coming up.
I use the term not like a 310, circus or anything like that, not Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, but it's a carnival-like atmosphere, isn't it?
Carnival in a good sense, yes, where there's plenty of activities to do. There's the way they have all the concerts lined up. There's almost no downtime between the smaller stages and the bigger stages, and there's plenty of opportunities for pictures and snacks and eating and drinking and everything else. So, yes.
You know what I love? I mean, here we are, your station that you program. Chris Coleman is my guest on the Hurley in the Morning program, live from the Linwood Country Club. Chris Coleman as program director of WPG Talk Radio 95.5. Here we are. We're raising multiple tens of thousands of dollars in one day here at the Linwood Country Club. There's no other, I'm not bragging, Chris, but there's just no other program in AM, if you will. And we're also on the FM band, and we brand ourselves as 95.5, but we are a heritage radio station at 1450 AM, and Chris and I are both radio guys, and if I say this in the best way, radio geeks, radio nerds. We love AM radio. I love one channel. I love stereo too, don't get me wrong, and 95.5 is beautiful, and it sounds big, and it is big, and it's amazing, but I never want to forget that we're also WPG 1450 on the AM band. We're owning our market as an AM and an FM station, Chris, and Cat Country 107.3 is owning the market in your space there as you part of both teams in that genre. I say this respectfully. It's pretty impressive.
And I'll say this respectfully, our AM station of 1450, it's going to be turning 84 years old next month, or I'm sorry, in August.
That's why I said heritage.
Yes, 84 years.
Yeah, it's exciting. And it's been WFPG 1450. It's been WPG. It was WFPG again, and then WPG. So it's been pretty cool, iconic call letters, whether they're 3 or 4. It's one of the few stations in the history of New Jersey that has this longevity, Chris.
And Roy, our fabulous engineer, just brought me headphones, so now I can hear you. So
very impressive.
Yes. So shout out to Roy as well.
So I know what Chris was doing. You have to let the mic off, hear it through. I know, Chris, I've been there.
It's like working a drive-through at Wendy's or McDonald's. You can only talk one way and at a time.
Yeah, exactly. Push the button. You hear the beep. Well, Chris, thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your leadership. I know you have a lot to do, and I know you're a big part of Barefoot as well, and of course everything that we're doing here today. So thanks again for all that you do, sir.
And 17 years of perfect weather. How did you manage to pull that off?
Chris, I'm telling you, we just beg. We get on our knees. We beg to the Lord to bless us. I begged God to because God is very busy. That is learned and confirmed. A Hurley in the Morning exclusive. God is very busy. And I was concerned that God would not know that we moved last year and this year from Friday to Thursday. So God blessed us with perfect weather last year, and He crushed the region on Friday.
Right? I remember that. Yep.
From Friday to Thursday.
Yep.
So yeah, we've been very fortunate. When you do an event that is totally driven by the weather, you can do all the work and put it all on paper and collect all the money and do all this, but if the weather doesn't cooperate, you can't do it. So we've been very fortunate.
And it's not like another event where you can just move everything indoors and still go on with your activities there. I mean, you're really at the mercy of the weather there. And I don't want to jinx anything. You know me, I don't jinx anything. But
yeah, that's true. I can testify to that. The other thing too is the crowd. I mean, we're talking about possibly the next governor of New Jersey, presidents of organizations and stuff. So they plan. They know the third Thursday in June they want to be a part of something that's special. But if that doesn't go off on the third Thursday in June, these aren't people you can just say come back tomorrow.
Right.
Or come back next week. So, the weather has been crucial.
And again, I mean, the biggest problem you have today is, is it going to be 80 or 85 by the time this is done, which is, a good problem to have.
Chris, they teed off at 78 degrees, 5 mile an hour wind out of the southwest. I mean, absolutely beautiful.
Amazing. And again, congratulations to you and happy birthday again. I missed you yesterday. Happy birthday. And thank you to Josh as well, who has been out there since pre-dawn this morning helping you out on that end.
Yeah. And here yesterday, because as you know, you do an event on the road. It isn't just the day you're there.
Right.
You're there before the event doing tests and So thanks so much, Chris, for everything, and really great wishes with what you're doing on Cat Country 107.3 as well.
Oh, thank you. And right back at you, Harry. Congratulations on another just absolutely amazing, perfect event you have there.
Thank you, Chris. And Chris will be observing for the next basically 36 minutes, and then we'll turn it over to Brian Kilmeade. We're going to welcome now to our coverage Gail Collins. At two levels, I'm really happy to do this interview with Gail. She's been with us for many, many years, both at our Charity Golf Open and at our annual charity dinner. And she's done a great job at registration, with the finances, and keeping everything organized. So, Gail, you're a member of the family. You've been a very big part of what we do every year. So thank you for that. But what I want to do is spend the time talking about an important event that I know is very important to you.
Yes.
And to many.
Yes. The mission for the Hope Fest Music Fest is it's music and it's camaraderie. We get together, and all of the money is raised at the Hope Fest goes to help cancer patients from the Dr. Child's group financially with their health coverage. But it's just a fun night. There's music and camaraderie. It's just the money is going to a really good cause. I'll read you her mission statement if I can.
Please.
Hope Music Fest is a 501 charity dedicated to uniting our community through the power of music, compassion, and generosity. We gather yearly not just to enjoy an evening of melodies and fellowship, but to make a tangible difference in the lives of those battling cancer without adequate health coverage or financial difficulties. Our mission is to raise funds that will go directly supporting patients in need, ensuring that no one faces the financial burden of fighting cancer alone. Join us in creating a symphony of hope and support, because together we can turn the music of our efforts into healing of hearts. The next Hope Fest is Wednesday, October 16th, 2024, 6 to 9:30 at Josie Kelly's. And all of the money goes to financial support.
Gail, someone would like to make a contribution. Who do they make the check payable to? Is that on there, on that flyer?
Yes.
Where is that at? Where does it say that?
It goes to Julie.
Hope Music Fest. It seems that Hope Music Fest.
Yes.
It says 100% of donations go to Hope Music Fest. Right. But is that the name of the organization that you would make checks payable to? I want to make sure, because we want to help raise some money for this. It seems like that would be the, it's self-contained. Yeah. Hope Music Fest is a 501c3 charity that's dedicated. Gail, what we're going to do, we're going to give this to you right now to take to your folks.
Oh, thank you so much.
We're going to give you a $500 grant from the Hurley in the Morning charity.
Oh, thank you so much.
Which we're so honored to do. And to those listening, this is what we do.
Yes, this is what you do.
This is the whole point, is to help people that are doing great work.
It's also,
I mean, and when you think about this, I mean, what's more important than helping people with cancer? That obviously that causes great economic strife. They can't work.
And all the money from Hope Fest goes to help cancer patients financially. Can be groceries, can be electric bills. The money is dedicated, and Dr. Childs pays for all the advertising by herself.
Well,
nothing comes out of the fund.
You got an interview, and you got a $500 grant.
And I am so appreciative, and I love working with you, Harry.
We love having you, Gail.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for all you do. Really appreciate it. And Margie, come on over for a quick second. I want to get a report, and then we're going to, Josh and I took a picture of it. Yeah, you keep the original. Okay, I love doing that. I keep a digital copy, and well, thanks. Thank you, Gail. So Gail didn't know we were going to do that, but I knew I was going to do it. What I want to do, and then Josh and I are going to close out the show, I want to give Margie an opportunity just to share some of her thoughts, because what's really neat about what we do, I do certain things, Margie does certain things, and I think when you've been around somebody for 44 years, married for 43, you just have a synergy, and you're just able to accomplish, important things. So because I'm doing the show, I don't get to see. There are certain things that for 17 years, I never get to see. Like, I never really get to see the excitement of the Reg Center. I see it set up. I see it the night before when we're setting up, for the event. And then I'm here at our remote broadcast studio, and I see people after they register. So, honey, Margie, give us an idea of what the morning was like.
It was very busy. We had everybody knew their whole assignment, checking in. Gail and Bonnie did a great job checking in all the golfers, and then they moved around, and Karen and Vince and Kim and Sandy Harvey were there, and they were selling 50/50s, and they were doing the mulligan.
How did the mulligans do?
The mulligans did very well.
Good.
So
I like that.
I was talking to Mark Giantonio earlier and Sandy, and we're going to earmark the $1,000 scholarship that we're going to give to ACCC in the name of Pam James.
Oh,
Pam was
beautiful.
A great supporter of Atlantic City. She passed away during the beginning of COVID, and we just want to honor her in a way that she deserves to. And as we start these scholarships, they're perpetual, and that keeps their name alive every year. And Pam was just a great help to me as I was coming up at the ACCVA, and I'm working with Visit Atlantic City. And to have Sandy here to help us sell those mulligans was just like a full circle moment, because I've worked with Sandy for 20 years. She's retired now. And when in her retirement, she's been doing some things with Atlantic Cape Community College, raising money for their hospitality and, of course, the restaurant gala. And so it's a perfect closed circle moment that we should be giving a check to Sandy to give to the Atlantic Cape Community College Foundation.
Is Sandy still here, or did she have to leave?
Sandy's here.
I'll give her the check today.
That would be lovely.
She won't have to wait for it.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks for all you do. Something I'm very proud of, what I try to do, I keep telling you that I do certain things, Margie does certain things, and it equals 100%. It's all you need in life. If you have something to do, and if all the parts equal 100%, it doesn't matter percentage or anything. But I'm so proud of the fact, and we've never accomplished this before. What I try to do, I want to make, and Fred, please, you can mention Fred.
And Fred.
Yeah,
Fred
Bernice.
There's
and
you said
Skip.
And Leonard.
Skip
there's
Leonard
just
Golden.
a lot, yeah.
There's been so many. So what I like to do, I want to make registration the smoothest that it can be for our team and for the golfers checking in. And I am so proud of the fact, and this is only possible with the cooperation of our players, that we had 29 out of 31 foursomes attended to before this even took place.
And it made it so great that they could just check in and then get their golf bag and do their 50-50, get their mulligan, and then come around, sit and check in with you, wave hi, go get something to eat. I mean, Linwood does a beautiful job. They really do.
And lunch is going to be great.
Our crew has been with us for a good long time, and we, people come and go, we add people, but we're just very, very thankful for the people that come, because they, if the golfers come up, most of them know them, because you have a lot of golfers that golf with us every year, and it just makes it easy. And
well, the fun thing is, I enjoy actually doing the work, getting all the merch, doing the business side, and getting everything done in advance of the event that's possible. And that really only leaves the night before and then executing the event itself on event day, and it works.
Yes, and I know that you've mentioned Town Square, and this is actually your show, but I have to mention Visit Atlantic City. We have a lot of things going on this weekend, toward this end of the week and then into the weekend. And, for them to allow me to be here all day and to do the things that I have to do to assist you was a big help. And I can't say enough about.
Sandy, stay close. I need you in a second, okay? Come back.
All of the people that I work at Visit Atlantic City. So I'd like to thank them for their, the pin flags.
Visit Atlantic City is the pin flag sponsor, and they're the sponsor of a foursome. I did briefly have Gary on. Also had Mike Reynolds on for a moment right before the shotgun start, and so we paid homage to Visit Atlantic City, which also in our long-form interview with Mark Giantonio, the president of Resorts Casino Hotel in Atlantic City, he talked about how important Visit Atlantic City is, how important the meetings and the conventions are to Atlantic City in terms of the overall success of Atlantic City being a mature 12-month destination resort.
Yes, and the incredible work that really is, we've talked about this before, and I know that you've talked about it there are sometimes you can book, there are some shows that book 5 years out. We're working on something for 2031. We have,
isn't that crazy when you think
around.
About that?
But people don't realize, they think that, just the show pops up, but there's a lot of work. You have to get them, the big thing is you have to get them here. They have to see Atlantic City, and once there's a couple of site visits going on right now, and they're touring Atlantic City, and they're seeing all the exciting things that we have to offer as a world-class destination resort. Between all of the great things that have opened up and the hotels and have updated the room product, and certainly I don't speak for the media team at Visit Atlantic City, but I'm just we're excited. It's very exciting what we're doing. So everybody's working very hard, and a lot of during the pandemic we were still at work. There were shows that were, set to come, and the convention center was, of course, a vaccination center, and so we had to move people, and so it was just very, very exciting, and a lot of that hard work is coming to fruition now.
Without a doubt. So I've asked Sandy Harvey to join the broadcast, which she kindly left her breakfast to come over. And Sandy, I'll only keep you a minute. If you could walk around and then put this headset on, if you don't mind. You're a professional. You know how to do that. You're a retired vice president with great executive skills. You can manage. Hey, Katie, you look lovely. Thank you. Sandy, here's what we're doing. I am going to present to you for the great work that you are doing with Atlantic Cape Community College with a $1,000 Hurley in the Morning charity grant. Who should I make that? It's all filled out, but who do I make that payable to? Just Atlantic Cape Community College?
Atlantic Cape Community College.
Are we designating this for anything in particular? Either any extra co-curricular activity or anything special, or just to the general fund?
The foundation.
Okay.
I think would be perfect.
Do I make it out to the foundation then? Or
Atlantic Cape Community College Foundation.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you're going to leave with this.
Oh, awesome.
I'm going to give it to you right now. I know that the foundation does a lot of important fundraising, and it's wonderful, the work that's done. What are some of the things that grants such as this can help you do?
Well, I think in so many cases they can use it for scholarships for kids that are struggling with financial issues throughout the course of the year. So it is a very great organization, and they're doing phenomenal work out there.
And I know that this was kind of like asking you to skydive out of a plane because you didn't really want to come on, I don't think, and do the broadcast. But there it is in all its glory. It is completely filled out to the Atlantic Cape Community College Foundation, a Hurley in the Morning charity grant in the amount of $1,000. And you knew this anyhow. and in all the years when you were the executive and you did the pin flag sponsorship and sponsored a foursome, even some years 2 foursomes. Not that you didn't know, but now you can directly see your support over many, many years. This is what it enables us to do.
It is phenomenal work that you're doing, and we really appreciate it, Harry.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
And how's retirement been? Although you're keeping busy, though.
Retirement is phenomenal. It is. You can get up and do whatever you want, and I'm glad to be able to serve in some small way with you and your team out here at the Hurley.
You look very great in a Hurley in the Morning charity staff shirt.
Well, it's my honor to serve, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you, Harry.
Okay. So you wish them all well for us. And
I will.
We're honored to do that.
We'll do that.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And thank you, Margie. This is what it's all about. It's what we do. It's what we love to do. We're at 44 minutes past the hour. The Brian Kilmeade Show will take over in about, 20 minutes. And we'll continue until then and share with you some of the sights, some of the sounds of what's going on here at the 17th Annual Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open. If you haven't been with us for the ride this morning, we signed on usual time right here overlooking this beautiful patio. When I tell you, you hear this expression, $1 million view, my view from our broadcast studio here, Josh and I, is of the skyline. You have a water view. You've got the beautiful golf course that is, it's manicured. You heard, if you were listening to Jeff Bonneke, the director of golf operations and the golf professional, PGA golf professional here at the Linwood Country Club, you heard him talk about, please replace the divots. And when you're on the green, and that we do give all of the golfers get in their merch bag. They get this beautiful shoe bag, and in it is a towel that they can hook right onto their bag if they want. It's a golf towel. They're a sleeve of 3 Titleist golf balls, and that is always appreciated. As a golfer, you can't have too many. And we also have a T-shirt, a beautiful wicking, great upscale T-shirt with a very small logo. The logo used to be bigger, and many, many years ago, I thought, you know what? I want people to wear it. You see sometimes these shirts that are like a walking billboard, and you just don't really want to wear them. We have a very modest on the left breast side, very small Hurley in the Morning Charity Golf Open. We don't even put the date anymore. We did that for maybe the first 10 years. It just is like an evergreen type thing, and they're beautiful. And we mix the colors up. Last year was cherry red. This year is royal blue. So the golfers love all of that. And in there is also a tee pack. And in that tee pack is, I think it's 4 golf tees, and then you have a ball marker. Some people use a coin, but there is a ball marker. And you have the tool to be able to fix the green. So everybody has the ability to do what Jeff Bonneke asked for, and that's to replace divots and also to repair the putting green. Because remember, when you putt onto the green, not often do you need to do a repair from the putt that you make or take, but it's your ball hitting the green that puts a divot into the green. And there's Kathy. Good to see you. And so that tool lets you dig in there, lift it up, and the golfers are very good. They take their putter and then they flatten it down. You see it when you watch the major golf tournaments. So our players are going to be doing that today, respecting the course, keeping it in great playing shape. So now I'm going to ask Josh to come on over and join his long-term friend and colleague. Josh and I go back, we've figured it out, 16 years in this business. And I've enjoyed every bit of it because Josh, even from the time he was a very young man, Josh has just figured out, not that he's old, but he just figured out he's not a kid anymore because Josh, they say don't give a woman's age, just 2 men here on the mics. Josh is now 39 years old.
I am, yes.
That's hard for me to believe because I've known you since you were about 20.
Correct.
This is crazy to me. And tell me it doesn't go like that.
It does, and
that
it
was
doesn't.
Good snaps.
The first snap was better. Third time's the charm.
Okay.
There you go.
That's how fast it all goes, which is why one of the things I always remember to say is take nothing for granted.
Right.
Appreciate every day. Appreciate every air shift, every day, because you don't know. You never know. You hear these things that happen and nobody expected it, and this way you have no regrets. Full throttle.
Yep.
Live life.
It's amazing because you mentioned how for those who don't know, Harry is the reason why I got my first air shift back in the day when I was 21 years old. And if it wasn't for the lessons learned, and I mean legitimate lessons learned from that experience, I wouldn't be what I'm doing today with you at Town Square Media.
Well, I know I don't speak for the team because I'm not, in a position to speak for anybody other than myself. But I know the team really loves you and respects you, and you can just tell the way that I see you around all of our team members, how much people do like you, and you're a great team player. And Chris Coleman is this way. And our team, we're very fortunate. In a way, we're the largest that there is in the state. But in another sense, it's sort of oxymoronic because we're also small but mighty.
Right.
But we are the largest news team, and we're the largest broadcasting company in the state of New Jersey when you take all of our assets, all of our sister properties, and all of that. But in a small team like Town Square Media South Jersey, people carrying their weight and doing a lot. I mean, we all do multiple things.
Oh, it's when you say multiple, though, what people don't understand is that, like, if you go somewhere like a New York market or Philadelphia, there might be a show host, and then that show host has 2 or 3 people working on their show, and then they have a separate sales staff, and then they have a separate manager for the station.
And a producer, and probably somebody doing digital content, taking the show and the podcast and all of it. And here, and we're not bragging and we're not complaining.
No, but it's a reality.
We love it. We do it all.
It's all wrapped into one.
Yeah.
You're writing for the website and hosting a radio show and going out there and setting up events like this. Chris Coleman is literally, he has been in the studio.
2 stations.
Yeah, this morning. He's got Barefoot all week with Cat Country. I'm on 97.3 ESPN. I've been sitting here doing work for that job while working with you here today. So it's the nature of what we do. If anyone ever says at our job that they're bored,
they're the problem.
Right.
Yeah, because that's Chris Coleman. If you want to put your mic back on and your headset back on, I mean, that's
I'm
one
not
thing.
saying a word.
I know you're not, but I will say this on behalf of my good friend and great dad and a great program director and a great on-air personality and an exceptional digital content creator. We're busy.
Yes.
We don't complain. We're just sort of just reminiscing.
We could complain, but it wouldn't do us or anybody else any good.
But I will tell you, I will take being busy over being bored every time. Chris, how about you?
Yeah, that's a fair statement to say. Yes, I'd agree with that.
And I've never got a chance to really ask you this on air. I sort of have a good working knowledge of this. How do you enjoy programming an entire talk station and then all of your other duties that I've been mentioning, including your on-air shift, very relevant day part, morning drive and afternoon drive. If you're in radio, that's where you want to be, and you're there. What is that like? I mean, that's wearing many hats.
I don't want to speak for Josh, but I think we would have the same answer because he does, sports and we do news talk over here. Obviously, it is certainly a 7-day-a-week labor of love where, the news cycle never stops the same way the sports world never stops. And you always have to be on top of what's happening, whether it's 3 in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the morning. And, you are juggling a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it's a labor of love,
And here's the other thing that's I think notable. You're still the program director for WPG Talk Radio 95.5 while you are doing an on-air shift at Cat Country 107.3. You give your undivided attention to your air shift but you could have other things going on with your talk station. Hey, Chris, you're off the air. Hey, Chris, this. Hey, Chris, there's somebody on hold that wants to pitch a program. So you're doing all these things in real time, and I call it like juggling, keeping the balls up in the air, and you can't drop one. Because if you drop one, they all topple. You got to keep them going.
Right.
It's pretty interesting, isn't it?
It's throwing spaghetti at a wall, as they often call it, and you just try to make the noodles never touch the floor because you're just constantly, juggling, like you say. But
they stick, and then you got to watch to make sure though that adhesive, they don't all of a sudden start sliding down.
One very slowly starts to fall, and the other ones are faster.
You got to catch them.
Oh yeah,
you got to catch them.
Yep.
But we love it, and people that are purists in our business, that's why I mentioned the AM. Because that is that's the start of talk radio. One channel, AM. I mean, iconic stuff. WPG once had a news division, and they flew a helicopter, as Chris Coleman and I both know. Most people listening probably don't even realize that. Chris, that's how big it is and was.
Oh, sure. August 1450 went on the air at, I want to say it was Virginia and the Boardwalk in Atlantic City, which, Hard Rock is there now, obviously, but the tower was at Virginia and the Boardwalk, and here we are almost 84 years later on the same station, still serving the public interest and doing what we do every day, informing people and keeping people up to date and entertaining people. But, 84 years for the AM.
And there was a point in time, and Chris knows this as well, we've written about it because it's just fun to talk about, the history of your station. There was a time for a number of years where WPG, and it was on the 1450 band, was in a glass booth in the front of Steel Pier on the boardwalk in Atlantic City at around Virginia Avenue. And the rent, and I interviewed the late, great George Hammond, so that this just wasn't an urban legend. He confirmed it in our interview, which we have documented in both writing and with the audio portion of the content. The rent was simply at the top of the hour ID. We would say Steel Pier, Atlantic City. That was the rent.
And
those were the days.
Right. And an interesting note of that is, radio people tend to be a little shy. Can you imagine doing your show on the boardwalk where people just, potentially hundreds of people would be staring at you through a window for hours after hours, That's kind of fun to think about, how it used to be.
Yeah, it takes a special breed because you're right. You're like a fishbowl.
Right. I was going to say the three of us think that's funny and fun, but I think there are people that we work with who might, be very displeased.
Oh, the blinds would be closed. Oh, yeah. Yep.
You always do what the occasion calls for. I've seen Chris on stage. We were on stage at the Hamilton Mall, hundreds of people, and they're all, they're all there. Or it could be the air show, and there's people all over the place. You know what it is, Chris? You do what the occasion calls for.
Right, exactly. Whether you're emceeing Kiddabaloo at Boardwalk Hall or you're on stage in front of 5,000 people on the beach in Wildwood, you do what you do, and it's fun.
Chris is saying I did MC Kiddabaloo.
You did?
And I introduced Zach. I can't remember Zach's last name, but I'm proud of myself that I can remember his first name. And oh my gosh, Chris, you remember you had a little one then.
Yes.
Now she went and grew up on you. Oh my God. I send Chris every once in a while the picture of his daughter with Chris at Kiddabaloo.
Oh, that's funny.
And when you just see how tiny, and that's why it's all the things we talk about. Chris, does it not go fast, all of it?
Blink of an eye.
Yeah. And how old's your daughter now?
She'll be 10 and a half next week, and the half is very important.
Wow.
And absolutely. And softball player.
I'll say this, when you were doing Kiddabaloo, I can only draw a parallel between when the Beatles were in Atlantic City. What was that, 64, I think it was?
That is correct. 64.
So you can imagine the 15,000 screaming people at Boardwalk Hall for the Beatles versus you at Kiddabaloo with, thousands of screaming 4-year-olds. Very similar, and
Chris,
you handled it well.
There is a sound. Oh, thank you, Chris. There is a sound when that age child times infinity.
Right.
It's almost impossible to verbalize what that sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
It is an octave that I don't even know how to describe it.
I do want to say before we get too far along, there is a huge compliment I have for today's show. because as someone who has worked a plethora of remote broadcasts, events, there was almost nobody, and this is a 4-hour radio show, okay? There was almost nobody who came up to the table and tried to talk to Harry while he was in the middle of doing his show. Because I have worked so many events, radio shows, where I'm hosting or somebody else is hosting, and some random person will come up to you at a casino or at an event, and they start asking you questions like you work. Yeah. Like you're like the service maitre d' or something. And it's like, I'm on the radio. I have a headset on. It is a testament, Harry, how well you have cultivated your audience. That you didn't have multiple people to start walking up to be like, excuse me, can you help me with something? They knew Harry Hurley is here on the radio.
And so what we do, and the listener doesn't know it because radio is a theater of the mind. If we were doing a video portion of it, they would have seen it. I did a lot of fist bumps with everybody. Right. And just kept talking, and would do a fist bump. So you can acknowledge people,
absolutely,
and still do your job.
But there's a difference between acknowledging and then, as Chris knows, the person who comes up to you starts asking you questions because they're so oblivious to the idea that you have a headset on.
Right. It's like, see what I'm doing here?
It's like, you know, you point the head, it's like, I can't hear you, sir or madam, you know.
Good to see you.
You know, there's a huge difference between acknowledgement. I mean, literally, and Chris, you
just
know
like
how
that.
it is. Right. That's an acknowledgement.
Just what,
But she didn't stop and start having a full conversation with you.
Right. And ask questions.
Right. See, that's a testament to...
It's a good observation.
Yeah.
And you know what it is, too, though? You know, when you love what you do, it's all part of it. Like, we know
we're
with the
flow,
out in the public today. Exactly, Chris. You know, when you do these big events, beach concerts that you've been at, I've seen you up on the stage, and you're at any type of the air show when we do what we do there, and we'll be doing that again this August, which Chris and I are very excited about, and we have taken ownership of that. Our listeners, the app downloads that happen because we are so identified. Chris, that is something that you and I take great pride in.
And that was something that didn't exist just a few years ago. I mean, when 6 years ago when I started here, there was no streaming audio. There were no smartphones. And look what it is now. You can listen to us in Australia if you wanted to. You know,
Chris, you used to have to hear after the show if somebody had a question and answer it the next day. Now you get real-time feedback. It's really awesome. So maybe there's people that don't like that. And I know you do the same thing, Chris, and Josh, I know you do the same thing. I love getting instant feedback.
It's funny because when you mention the instant feedback, when Harry and I first started working together, it was AOL Instant Messenger.
Correct.
Remember that?
Yes, I do.
Now it's app updates. You know, now you're getting messages on the app. It's like a completely different dimension.
And you can actually help somebody in real time. You don't have to wait for them to either send a letter in the mail or call the radio station and have you call back. You can handle it right on the spot, which is it's good for service.
It's a completely different dynamic than it's ever been.
Ladies and gentlemen, a man that has spent many hours on WPG Talk Radio 95.5 in all of its iterations, Al Zentmeyer, is in our broadcast studio. Hey, Al.
Hey, how you doing, Harry?
Good to see you, my friend. Happy you came in. You're amazing. Josh. I know. You know Josh. And Chris is on the other end, back at the station. Chris Coleman. Al sends his regards. Chris, Al is a miracle. Al is a miracle. He's been dealing with something that no one has been able to do what you've done with it, Al. You're blessed.
I really am. I don't know why.
Well, God wants you to be here. That's why. I'll answer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your answer. God controlling the show. Wow, it's good to see you. I just wanted to acknowledge that you're here and you've done a lot of special work with me over the years. Yeah, well, I miss you too, but I'm glad you're here today. It's another great thing that happens. You see people. There are some things that, like the air show, for example. Chris and I see some people once a year, but you're going to see them.
Right.
And it's really neat. And I'll tell you what, I understand, some people are disappointed that for the first time ever, we won't have either, both, or one or the other, the Thunderbirds or, the incredible, U.S. Blue Angels. And I will say, I watched I think it's, I want to say Amazon, it could be Netflix, one of the pay channels services. There is a special on that squadron that is unbelievable. The Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. I thought I knew a lot from doing the air show with Chris. Oh, my God. It is unbelievable. I know that Brian Kilmeade is lurking around the corner in less than 3 minutes. Closing comment from you. We'll get a closing comment from Chris, and I'll just say goodbye at the end. Josh?
I just wanted to say that you mentioned about the people that you know. You may see them only once a year. It was amazing the number of people that I saw today, not just who knew you, but also remembered me from years ago working with you. So that was cool to see all the interactions, all the people coming in here, the massive amount of people who came out here to support the event. So it's definitely a credit to Hurley in the Morning, the enterprise, we'll call it, not just a show. And Harry, it's been like, riding a bike working with you again.
Yeah, we just picked right up where we left off. Josh was my producer for 6 years, and I'll tell you, we each taught each other a lot. From a technical standpoint, you know things I don't know. I hope I was helpful from a broadcast point of view, especially in the early years.
Really quick, one of my favorite things that I think I gained from working with you is how to deal with the advertisers.
Yeah.
How to put them first, how to prioritize them.
Yeah, you got to do the business or you don't have the show.
Right.
So, but you do that in a way that the show doesn't hear about it. So it's magic. Chris, closing comment. I know the music's playing.
I'll keep it quick. Congratulations, Harry, on yet another successful golf event, and congratulations on 17 years of perfect weather and another job well done.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for all of your support as my friend and as my program director. We cannot do it without you. On behalf of the whole team at Town Square Media, South Jersey, our president, Michael Rubel's on the course right now. And obviously he sent his regards himself on air. I am Hurley in the Morning. This is WPG Talk Radio 95.5. The Brian Kilmeade program begins right now.
WPGG Atlantic City, W238CZ Atlantic City, WENJ HD3 Millville, a Town Square media station.